Yeah. Welcome to the Sports Jedi Network. It is This Week in Wrestling. Let's talk some wrestling. We got a lot of full panel. Pretty much the whole Jedi Network is in full force. And of course, we got a special guest and more, the one and only Jeff Lippman. I want to start off with him. I want to say hello to our guest and possibly member of the Sports Jedi Network, but we'll talk about that afterwards. What's going on, Mr. Lippman? How are you?
I'm really happy to be here. Thanks for having me. How are you guys doing? Nice meeting those of you who haven't met before.
Yeah, nice to meet you, Jeff. Can y'all hear me? I think I'm lagging.
Yeah.
Don't be so hasty.
Am I lagging or am I good?
Everyone is well. Everyone's good. Let's go around the horn. Let's go right now in San Antonio. The one and only Mr. Jedi.
Come right back to me because I'm everything's frozen here on my side.
Let's go right to Pennsylvania. The one and only PGH Chris.
I'm here every Saturday. You guys know the deal. We're here to talk a little bit of wrestling, but we got a lot of other things to talk about. We got a full panel here today, so I'll keep it short and simple. Happy to be here with the entire Sports Jedi Network here on a Saturday.
Let's go to the hard-hitting truth, the man, the one and only Hot Knuckle Brew.
Hello, brothers and sisters. I'm here to let you know I've been rolling since 3:30 a.m. Eastern. I had working women and men trust me with their lives this morning to take them from point A to point B. After that, I went and cleaned the bus and cleaned the latrine behind it. And after that, I went and walked my fat ass 5 miles. So yes, come here, enjoy the show, get your libations together. I'm going to tell you this like I tell you every Saturday. Move your ass. Go get you some exercise. Go breathe some fresh air. After that, go wash your ass with some dude wipes and some good soap and water. And after that, go try to make you some money. Be a role model. Don't be up here on the internet all day arguing with bots. Be a real human being. Don't let people say you stink out here. Wash your ass and follow the horse's lead. My big ass out here walking 5 miles after working today. Come follow with me. Have a good day, everybody. Let's have a good show.
I'll buy. You know what? I'll buy a T-shirt to that. Let me send it over to the guy that's in my city, the city beautiful, the one and only, the Nap God.
Yo, what's going on? As you know, I'm Nap, and hey, man, I'm co-founder of Smoke Session. So
what?
Here we go.
What did you say? You sounded like Bone Thugs and Harmony right there. What you say?
As long as it doesn't go to the crossroads, we're good.
Yo,
I had no idea what you said, bro. You sound like Blue Howard.
Hey, listen. We had NBA late night NBA after hour.
All right.
Now, is it safe to send it over to San Antonio? The man, the guy behind the Smoke Session, the chemistry lab, the chemist himself, K-Dot.
What's up, y'all? You know who it is. I like to say famous Davis, but yeah, man. K-Dot Views on X, Smoke Sessions podcast. Sometimes you'll see the Smoke Jedi. That's awesome. I can't believe that little brainstorming. But anyway, man, you know what it is. In the words of Nap, about that you do it, the boy. Nah, honestly, thank you, Jeff. Nice to meet you. Cannot wait to talk some conversations. I'm gonna get my notepad written down just in case I run into some little issues. Just kidding, man. I can't wait to talk some drinks, some brown liquor. You know what it is. It's my kind of show. The shirt's gonna try to stay on though, ladies and gentlemen. Hoss is taking his off today.
See, we got to get a Patreon for that, K-Dot. We can't be giving it away for free. The goods over here can't come out for free.
Give him out 2 more shots. You'll be all right. Have a sleep.
Don't forget, we are sponsored today by Dude Wipes. Stay fresh, stay match ready, stay clean. Dude Wipes and the Sports Jedi Network and the Smoke Session. We're wiping out you clean with all, and we want the smoke. So, of course, we also want to appreciate G Fuel Energy, the PGH Chris affiliate, part of the Sports Jedi Network. Go to G Fuel Energy, PGH Chris on your checkout. Try to get tongue tied already. The brown liquor's kicking in, and you save on your Stadium. So I want to talk to Jeff. We got Mr. Jeff Lippman. Give us a little bit of insight breakdown of yourself, and then we're going to pepper you with some questions, and let's have a fun. Let's have a conversation. Not robotic for at least from my end. Tell us a little about you, sir.
All right. Well, as you can tell, I'm an old man. I've been watching wrestling since before most of you have been alive, probably times two. I remember actually watching the Muhammad Ali Antonio Inoki match on ABC's Wide World of Sports way back when. I had no idea what this was all about. And ever since then, including last weekend when I saw my 85-year-old father while we were celebrating his birthday and Mother's Day for my mother who was there, and of course my wife who was there, reminded me once again that if these guys actually hit each other, they'd be dead. So he's still telling me that it's fake at this point. So in any event, grew up in New York, not too far from Kennedy Airport, on the Long Island side of things. Went to Emory University in Atlanta, where in fact, yes, I went to WCW shows at the Omni when it was still the Omni. Saw the Falcons play at Fulton County Stadium when it was still there, and I've been to both the old Braves Stadium and the new Braves Stadium. I went to law school at the University of Maryland, graduated in '93, and so I've been a lawyer since then, which is really way too long. And the nice thing about wrestling is that it's grown into be one of the biggest businesses there is, but it's also the smallest business that it is. And even on the big side, there's still hints of the small side, the carny side still in it, and everything in between. So I find it an extremely interesting area. So when other people are looking at ratings and contracts and things like that, maybe because they're rooting for a side or whatnot, I'm looking at it because I actually have an actual interest in that stuff. That's, wrestling's all reruns. So you've sort of seen it all before. And if you've been watching wrestling as long as I have, you've seen it all before about 5 or 6 times at least. Some of it 5 or 6 times, well, sometimes in one show, especially if you're watching the Big Show turn. But this other stuff is always interesting. So there's lots of intersection of law and wrestling, and I appreciate the opportunity to talk about this. There's a lot of misconceptions, a lot of misunderstandings, and a lot of things that remarkably people don't seem to learn, even though they learned it like the week before or 3 months before or 3 years before. And it's like the same fans asking the same questions or having the same outrages. And it's a little bit weird.
All right. I'm going to always give the honor to Mr. Chris. Chris, you're up with the first question.
Yeah, I want to start off with this because I think a lot of fans get very confused with the term independent contractor when they are signed to a big company like a WWE or an AEW. Can you explain to us a little bit of what does that independent contract status mean to a professional wrestler when they're signed in WWE? Because a lot of people ask the question, well, if they're independent contractors, how come they can't maybe work for other promotions or whatever? They need WWE's approval, and because they're paying them as well. It's a lot of fans confuse that term. Can you explain to the best of your knowledge what the term independent contractor really means for a professional wrestler?
Well, sure. But first of all, I want to actually sort of impeach myself a little bit because the fans have every right to be confused in this regard. It is extremely confusing for a whole bunch of reasons. One, there's an IRS test that has at least 14 factors on what is an independent contractor. Every state in the District of Columbia's Department of Labor has their own tests. No 2 tests are identical. And even if they are, no 2 states interpret it identically. So the factors get weighed, and just like everything else, it depends on who has resources to challenge it, who has resources to defend it, what are the expenses involved, what court is it in, and there's not a lot of this body of law in that. And then when you get to the big boys of WWE, you now have agents, you now have people who have lawyers, you now have people who have access to lawyers, and inside those contracts there's something said, you acknowledge that you have the right to have independent counsel review this document, or you acknowledge that you did have it, or whatever. But it says something to You were talking about Nicola Piccolo earlier. He represents a lot of the wrestlers. He's an agent, but he also has 2 law degrees. Now, I don't know if he reviews the contracts or he's the one that gives the advice, or if they also have their lawyer. I've spoken to a lot of people in the entertainment industry have managers, agents, and entertainment lawyers. So, and the wrestlers may as well. But I will say this. I do not believe under any test, if it was honestly applied, that any WWE wrestler would rightly be considered an independent contractor. Yet they are. Yet they've been undefeated, basically, in courts, 1, because of resources, 2, because of that binding arbitration provision, which is what we often hearken back to when we're talking about the independent right of counsel to review that contract for you on your behalf. And when things go to arbitration, they're no longer public, and then you avoid the embarrassment or the little nitty-gritty details that people get excited about in discovery. That it's no longer public. So that's a whole lot of it. But I 100% agree. And actually, one of the interesting things we've seen over the last 5 years is a little bit of loosening by WWE, even before TKO, but continue at TKO. Wrestlers could do Twitch channels now. They could use their wrestling names in those spheres. They could do some indie shows, very limited, but before it was nothing. So even they're loosening things. One day, the independent contractor ruling will be abrogated with this degree. I don't know when that day will be. The Biden administration tried to do it, or at least with non-competes, but they failed. And they failed for a whole lot of reasons. This administration's not interested in that at all. And frankly, nobody really cares. And I'm not really answering your question about an independent contractor. I promise I will. But do you know who uses independent contractors the most? The federal government. And behind the federal government is the state governments or the local government. So New York City probably uses more independent contractors than say Kansas does, in toto. Some local governments, medical research facilities, the medical profession. So it's not just a wrestling problem. Now, what's it supposed to be? An independent contractor is supposed to be considered self-employed. So they work for themselves and they have a lot of freedom. They can supervise themselves. Maybe they can even supervise us. They can work independently. They can bring their own tools. They can wear what they're supposed to wear. So I believe what Hoff was telling us earlier is that he's a bus driver. He can't go in without his uniform. He's got to, there's probably certain things he can't say or do while he's on the job. If he's going to if he's allowed to listen to music at all, it's probably with earphones or headphones that doesn't, bother the patrons or entertain the patrons. And he shows in, he clocks in every day at the same time, and he clocks out every day at the same time. And these guys, and they tell him what he's going to do, and they tell him his route. If he thinks that there's a big traffic jam somewhere, he doesn't get to alter from his route. An independent contractor should be able to do whatever they want, more or less, within the purviews of getting the job done. Very few independent contractors actually have that kind of independence. So up and down, it's like this. One of the misunderstandings, though, is that an independent contractor can compete and has absolute freedom, and that's almost never the case. They can be required to go to certain meetings. They can be required to go to certain trainings. They can even have their hours controlled, but there's usually a balance of it. So, and a lot of the wrestlers, they've actually incorporated themselves or LLC'd themselves. So it's actually not their name on the dotted line. They're signing as the president of, let's just say I'm using this name only because I know he has an LLC, Ric Flair LLC. So it'll be Richard Fleer, President, Ric Flair LLC. And they probably signed in that way as well. So I actually think that in some of the other promotions, they do it pretty well. I'm not really sure about AEW. I think the higher you are, the less of an independent contractor you are, but most of them probably don't care because they get paid enough to do it. In fact, a lot of the AEW wrestlers seem to no longer take indie bookings when in the beginning they were. But I don't know, the right of first refusal. So in other words, to pull someone from a show, it's got to be pre-approved, is not unique to WWE. It's not unique to TNA. It's not unique to AEW. it's not unique to MLW or NWA. They do it too. I think that's probably where it stops, at least in the U.S. promotions. But it's not. It is confusing, and it's a balancing test, and there's very little incentive to challenge it. The where we see the side effects is injuries and loss of income, and you have no coverage, you have no planning for the future. Some people think the ride will never end, and it does end. And there's a difference between I don't know, Andrade seems to bounce around between the large promotions freely, and say No Way Jose, who or Trevor Lee, who could only get certain bookings, or like Oro Menza, whatever. I don't mean to pick on anyone, but I just I think No Way Jose is out of the industry. Trevor Lee just signed with MLW. Oro Menza, I'm not sure what he's doing. So, and there's 10,000 wrestlers out there in an ecosystem that probably only needs 2,000. Did I answer?
No, that makes sense, especially where you're saying like the independent side where they could have other people like review their contract. Like, I think that does make sense a little bit more than, other people on the internet giving their thoughts on it. So I appreciate
it's a very long answer in saying it depends, and really nobody's testing it.
Okay. So is that why no one's testing it? Because it's so complicated?
Hey, homeboy. Yeah, and because it's ripe with failure, and most attorneys don't take cases that are likely to fail on contingencies. They want money up front. And if you're going to go into federal court, and this will be in federal court, or it's going to, and by the way, these contracts tell you the law that covers it. So, if you're an independent wrestler, say in Idaho, and you are fighting with, like, say, AEW, we already know that their laws are covered under the state of Florida, and the exclusive jurisdiction, they say, is the Northern Federal District of Florida, which is in Jacksonville, but they also have the binding arbitration clause. So even if you start in court, you might start in the wrong court, or if you start in a federal court with not your lawyer, because chances are your lawyer in Idaho isn't admitted to the federal district court at all, or at least the federal district court of Florida, or at least versed in the laws of Florida. So you'll need at least 2 lawyers, and you'll probably need $50,000 as a retainer to get into there, or you need to find Stephen Pinu, who's sort of on a mission as well to get this overturned. And unfortunately, he hasn't won yet, but I'm pulling for him. I think he's going to win one day, but it hasn't been yet. I think the only person that came close to winning was Raven way back when, but I think they just settled with him. And when you settle, you sign a NDA, and nobody talks about it. So whatever the secret sauce was there, for all I know, the secret sauce there is that he did lines of cocaine with someone in management, and they didn't want that to come out. And it has nothing to do with the merits of the case. I have no idea. I'm just making things up entirely. But you never know why somebody doesn't want something to come out. It's not all as obvious as they show up in the Epstein files or something.
Gotcha. Go ahead, Kev.
I'm going to give you I want to see Nap. What do you have to ask Mr. Lippman?
Well,
I'm going to head over to you.
It's very interesting that he brought up. Okay, so because we know how, like, you were saying they're contracted, right? Or they're semi-contracted. I wanted to ask, when an injury occurs, right? Because you know how, like, some promotions, they don't cover if they'll have you on the show, but they won't cover for your injury. When it comes to certain, like, aspects like that, how does, like, someone come to you, and I guess, like, you either, because some of them either want to get bring this to the court. So when it comes to all those legal issues, when it comes to the injuries, how exactly does that work out? Okay. Like, is it first, like, they go to you, or is it you have to first bring it to the court and then you are summoned or whatnot?
For injuries, probably neither. Because for injuries, it's more policy in the contract. So for WWE, I'm pretty sure that they have event insurance, which is basically like limited basis workers' compensation. So if you get injured on the job, they're going to pay for all of the direct injuries. Now, maybe there's issues as to how long is rehabilitation. I don't know if there's any lost wages, part in that policy. I don't know the ins and outs of that. My understanding with AEW is that they don't have that, but Tony Khan covers the fees out of pocket, probably some not-for-profit he set up that isn't in the AEW or Ring of Honor ledgers. But I don't know. TNA has event insurance. Most of the indies don't have event insurance. Now, there's almost always an issue with injuries as to what was caused by the injury. I mean, it's not that much different than any other injury. Like if you get into a car accident, the insurance company is going to want to know if you ever got injured at work, if you have any pre-existing conditions. So there's always going to be that arbitration type of fight, like baseball arbitration fight, where I was really hurt here. You weren't really so hurt here. Yeah, I was really so hurt here, and then you figure that out. But let's get out of that weed. So without event insurance, most of the independents, they actually require that you say that you cover yourself for workers' compensation insurance. Most of the independent wrestlers do not cover themselves with workers' compensation insurance. So they, everybody sort of winks, and Haas Knucklebrew is a killer name. Funny is, before I put my glasses on, I saw Nuck Hebrew, and I'm like, I got to ask him about that. Then I put my glasses on, and it didn't make more sense. It was just a cooler name. But Nuck Hebrew would have been interesting too. Maybe I'll change mine to Nuck Hebrew. At least if I come on this network. Anyway, so there's sort of the wink that both sides say, yeah, I got it, but I don't got it, and I hope I don't get injured. And if I do, that it's not that big a deal. Or if I do, that I'm covered under my regular job insurance, or my wife's insurance, or my husband's insurance, or whatever it is. And then those insurance companies, maybe they don't ask too many questions, or maybe they go, every now and then they sort of see the social media says, oh, Mr. X, you earned Viano number 10. Isn't that you that that was headlining Saturday night, and you're filing a claim with us Monday? You can't explain. Oh, we found this fan. So I imagine that a lot of claims just get dropped, and then we see the GoFundMe's or whatnot. At the same time, I tell you, I'm an idiot. I or a nice guy, whichever way you interpret this next sentence. I've given to a lot of GoFundMe's over the last few years, some of which I have not regretted, some of which I've regretted. But and I'm not asympathetic to the unfairness of this industry, and that you have to try hard and fake it to make it, and that even if you do have health insurance, that doesn't generally replace lost income. Though I'm less sympathetic as I learned that most of the people there lost income is losing money for their subsidized hobby that they were losing money on anyway, and maybe they'd be a better place if they didn't do it, injury aside. That editorial aside, but that's usually how it works. So in most of your indies, there's no insurance. They're not getting event insurance. I don't know that any states require it of them. If they do, there's probably less shows in that particular state. Some states require wrestling licenses, and a doctor, examines you beforehand and gives you a certification. Maryland is like that. I actually have spoken to the Maryland athletic commissioner. It was funny. He was trying to recruit me for it, and I'd happily do it. It's just I can't afford to do it yet. I mean, maybe in a few years if I retire, that might be a fun, like, not quite retirement job. But at this rate, I'll never be able to retire. So it's not an option. Anyway, that's generally how it works. I have seen contracts from many promotions, not every promotion, and certainly not the most recent ones. I've never seen an AEW contract. I've never seen this iteration of Ring of Honor contract. I haven't seen most indies. I have seen AEW appearance talent contracts, which are shockingly short and just have all sorts of waivers. They don't even talk about. They just talk about you. It's like when you take karate class or go on boot camp or sign up with a personal trainer. They don't care if you're insured or not. You're just waving away. You are assuming all the risks.
Okay.
Interesting.
I'm so sorry. I had some premium issues. I'm sorry about that cutting in here, y'all.
Please. Yeah. So I'll pause here.
Problem.
I can talk
I got
forever, but
I got a
think
question that goes hand in hand with what he just said.
Yeah, you were up next. You were up next, Haas. Go for it.
Okay, Jeff. Okay, I know I literally know nothing about contract law, so help me out with this one. Every time I hear when a contract's up at AEW, I hear about someone might tack on injury time. I hear that a lot. And full disclaimer, I do not consider professional wrestling as a sport, but a lot of people do consider it a sport. How can Tony Khan legally tack on injury time when I go to the NFL and Joe Burrow misses every other season? Mike Brown can't tack on injury time and say, Joe, you're going to be my quarterback forever. I don't care if you miss 6 seasons. You're going to sit here forever. So please, Jeffrey, let me know, compare, contrast. I know this is a long-winded question.
No, that's great.
How can Tony Khan tack on injury time and keep me at AEW forever, but the NFL can't keep me at a certain franchise forever?
Okay. Well, one, you do know something about contract law because I strongly suspected you were a member of a union and you benefit from a collective bargaining agreement, which is in fact your employment contract. So it's covered in there. And that's largely the difference. And I don't know that the distinction between whether it's sports or not is particularly important here. The distinction is being an employee covered under an employment contract period, and more importantly, a collective bargaining agreement where there's unions and there's rights in that. And so in the NFL, they are employees, they get W-2s, and so the time of the contract is the time of the contract. Now, if you get injured and you're injured every other season, there's a pretty good chance you're not going to get offered another contract, or you're going to be cut and released, which is also part of their contracts, or they're going to get paid less money. Or if you're Joe Burrow and you think you're the cat's meow and it's because the line stinks, that, you know, if you get another chance with San Francisco or whatever, that all of a sudden you're going to show them. And, you know, and maybe if you're Jared Goff or Matthews, Matt Stafford, you're going to be right and show them that the different places are. But, you know, if you're Jimmy Garoppolo, it doesn't really work out for you any place. In any event, or Sam Darnold, where it did. So yeah, I sense there's Jet fans here. I could sense the disturbance in the forces of my Jedi, my Jedi powers. So that's the difference, and it's in the contract. And it isn't just AEW. It isn't just Tony Khan. The reason why people react so adversely to Tony Khan is because he said he wasn't going to do this. He said he wasn't going to do a lot of things that he's ended up doing that were exactly what WWF and WWE and TKO does. He does the same things because it's in the contracts, and there's a reason it's in the contracts, because they're designed to help the company, which is really weird because, I mean, the thing about AEW is that it's not really run as a business. It's not making money. I don't know that anyone cares if it ever makes money, so I don't know why they pretend on that. So I think it is really him holding people hostage. But remember, the injury tacking on thing was the Rey Mysterio rule with WWE. So let's not give anyone a pass here. The reason you probably don't hear it very much with other companies, I mean, company number 3 is TNA, and if they sign people to contracts at all, these days they seem to be 3 months, 6 months, 9 months. Like maybe there's a few people on 1-year contracts, and they're very happy to just release someone if they want to be released. They're like, you want to go? Go. It doesn't matter. We'll adjust. They operate a little bit like NXT, and they're like, or Evolve. If they don't work out, we'll and the story drops. Story drops. People forget in 2 weeks. But that's the difference. It's in the contract. The contract says if you get injured, if you cannot perform whatever reason, whether you're injured in the ring or otherwise, and there might be a distinction, but I doubt it. But depending on the negotiating power, and others, like let's just say Mercedes Moné, maybe she has an in her contract that she could take 6 months off at any period during the contract. I'm making that term up, but let's just say that someone negotiated that. I'm sure that Randy Orton negotiates that he gets summers off and and things like that. And then there's other things that come up that WWE or someone is happy to support, like Drew McIntyre getting cast in a movie role. I'm sure that time will be tacked onto his contract. And just no one will be outraged because it wasn't for an injury. Or maybe it isn't because they're really thrilled to have Drew McIntyre, start to become a movie star, which again says WWE is a platform for stars and and Stars is a platform for fans that maybe weren't wrestling fans. I don't know what the internal calculus is that, and if it's case by case or you know, they have a policy or whatnot. I suspect they're still trying to navigate that as TKO makes WWE more of a platform for the endeavor, the entertainment wing of their company. And Niccolo Piccolo could probably answer that best. I don't know if he would, but he probably could, because he, you know, clearly has direct insider information on that.
I'm going to go right over to you, Famous Davis. Your turn.
Let's go back to Tony Khan real quick.
Sure.
There's a lot of, and again, you know how social media gets. But it's just judging from the corporate side of things. We do see he truly seems to prioritize, hey, don't say nothing about this company, only way, the NDAs, basically. Just your opinion from a standpoint, why do you feel like he's so insistent on that? Because mind you, once a lot of WWE superstars eventually either released or leave, you know, eventually there's a time and date where they begin to kind of, you know, give, you know, experiences of their stories or what it is. But why do you feel, in opinion, is why he's so insistent on these NDAs? Because I believe there was a talent, I don't want to bring him up, damn, sad, that you know, he wants to work, but finds out he just, you know, I guess he's not saying talent enough, but they don't have no use for him, and find out there's like a tier 0 kind of scale of a contract where pay per appearance, you know. It's kind of, in my opinion, it's kind of awful.
I guess the question mark comes there.
Yeah, well, I guess we'll say Willie Mack. Willie Mack was one of them. He said one thing, and then they didn't. You know, I'm pretty sure somebody in legal side said, "Stop talking about this. You have an NDA."
It may not even be that he has an NDA. I mean, I don't think that there's an NDA in the front end of the contracts. There might be, but there's probably like general confidentiality and non-disparagement language, and confidentiality is probably broad enough. So it says, "Hey, you agreed to keep this information confidential. We consider this our trade secret or whatnot." The NDAs usually come at the back end when there's some sort of resolution or settlement, more like the CM Punk and NDA. But I could be wrong about it. Like I said, I've never seen an AEW contract other than appearance talent one, and like I said, that was like half a page with signatures, and then like maybe 20% of a page with signatures, and it was all basically releases and things like that, and saying you get $60, or if you travel more than 50 miles, you get $200, something like that. And I saw a bunch of them; they were all the same. And anyhow, I you know, everyone can have an opinion about why Tony Khan does something. I'm not a psychologist, and even if I was, I've never, you know, had sessions with him to diagnose him, you know, whether it's completely normal, high functioning, or low functioning, whatever. I think when he came into this, I mean, my dime store, and I'm going to keep it short because I don't want to be controversial, I think he came into this really thinking that he was declaring war, that he was going to do the wars. And I think it's important for him to keep up that pretense and for everyone around him to do that. I don't think up until, you know, from age 3 to age 34, he ever heard the word no very often, if at all. And if he did at all, like, you know, his security team of 6 former SAS, you know, special ops from South Africa came over and said, "Hey, mate, you sure you don't want to rethink your position?" You know, or something scary, more scary in a Boers accent or whatever, Afrikaners, you know, with a heckler machine gun pistol, you know, conspicuously, you know, under his shoulder or whatever. So, you know, just like a lot of very wealthy people that we're accustomed to seeing news, they don't take no for an answer, or they don't hear it. They don't want to hear it, and the people around them surround. So, you know, you're happily in your echo bubble, and every now and then, you know, you break out of it and you meet Ariel Helwani, and all of a sudden you're like, what are you talking about? We're doing great. And denial is a hell of a drug. And, you know, but I think, you know, I think he really thought it was a war. I think at the beginning there were reasons to believe it was a war. my personal opinion is I think if he actually stuck to the original AEW formula a little bit more, instead of like bringing in 350 wrestlers and hiding 225 of them in a closet somewhere. I mean, where's Josh the Goods Woods? I mean, that he probably would have a more successful actual alternative product, which is why you'll never hear me shit on the Darby Allin title run, whatever it is, because it's at least an AEW. That's an alternative AEW. I mean, I like the Page, MJF, and Darby are the last 3 champions. They're all AEW originals. That's better. It's better than freaking Moxley holding the title 17 times. In any event, I think that's the opinion, is that he believes it's a war. I think he knows it's not a war. and it's more of a skirmish or a squabble, and maybe sometimes it's a one directional one. And I think he's hiding his disgruntlement behind faux positivity.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Oh, and the New Day are going to be so perfect for that for him.
Yeah. Yo, it was just a question, ladies and gentlemen. Look, another thing, Jeff, trademarks, how important it is. And then not just for talent, not just for superstars, but podcasters like just for example, like Sports Jedi, on the rise. Like, can you attest to people who, maybe a lot of people nowadays do content creation, and they might have a great name, and somebody's going to just snatch it up because, again, look, man, I don't care if you had it on X for X amount of years. I win a trademark. How important is that for even somebody like us? You're starting off, and you're really looking to make money in this kind of venture. How important is that trademark for somebody like us compared to superstars and things?
Well, a lot of the value of your trademark is in hindsight. So it depends how strongly you believe in your brand and your mark and the value of the name versus the value of yourselves. Like if you can't really separate yourself from the name, like the Sports Jedi Network by any other name would be the same, then maybe it's not so important. Maybe you don't want to risk entanglement with the Disney people over the word Jedi, and stuff like that. But if you're in show business, owning your IP is pivotal. It's really important. The interesting thing about podcasts is that you live in 2 worlds. Every podcast you do is copyright material, and of course you're not only in interstate commerce, you're in international commerce. So the U.S. is all but one country, and some countries don't even have intellectual property laws, or have some on copyright, some on trademark, some on this. But if you're a wrestler, it's very important to own your IP. I mean, this is why the indie wrestlers that get signed to the WWE ID program generally are not using their indie name. WWE wants to own the IP. Why do they need to change their name? They don't. But if you become big, the trade-off is they're going to push you. And by push you, I don't mean like they're going to give you titles. That's not real. Real is being on TV and selling merchandise. So if you want the royalties from TKO making your merchandising for you, then you're gonna play along with the IP thing. Now, There's been a few, like Samoa Joe and AJ Styles kept their names. They assigned their trademarks to WWE, or well, I shouldn't say Samoa. I don't know for sure, but AJ Styles did, and WWE just assigned it back to him. The Rock, when he got that board, WWE assigned all of the IP that could have possibly been The Rock's to him forever and forever. At the same time, the number 1 and number 2 shirts on the WWE Shop Zone is still Austin 316 and the NWO, and Hulkamania and stuff like that. They're all always perennially in the top 10. I mean, you might have a Danhausen here, a Roman Reigns there. Cody could keep his name, of course, because the marquee was getting Cody Rhodes. And theoretically, should he ever come back, John Moxley may come back as John Moxley, not Dean Ambrose, because he has made his name big enough there. But there were two notable people who kept their names from prior, who didn't sign over their IP to WWE. Maybe it's a coincidence, maybe it's not, but Keith Lee and EC3.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. I've got a question. You mentioned about international with the long trademarks and all that stuff. We're seeing a lot of this at least in AEW with the dual contracts. And a lot of the dual contract is with CMLL and New Japan. Different. This is an international contract. How does that work? And if there's ever a dispute with a talent, from outside of this country, and the AEW wants to hold it in a court of law. How does that work? Where, I mean, an example, you see a lot of the New Japan wrestlers, or even Persephone, she's working for AEW. Do they prohibit her, or is there specific languages that's in that contract that dictates the terms?
Okay, here is one of the things that Tony Khan basically kept his word on from the beginning, almost uniformly. AEW doesn't own the IP of their people. They don't have much in the way of their own merchandise. Even most of the merchandise goes through Pro Wrestling Tees, which keeps half the money, which isn't that much money to begin with. I believe the only trademarks that AEW owns is AEW, the way AEW looks, All Elite Wrestling. Some of the shows that they have where they wanted. Remember, they didn't get Clash at the Beach. That was blocked, and they just let it go. But they still ran the show. I think the exceptions were El Clone, Hologram, and the Beast.
Mortos.
Right, who was Black Taurus. So you can read what you want, that they sort of took the people from Mexico who got paid, $35 a show as opposed to $175 a show or whatever, and they tried it on them. But I believe that's the only IP they have now. So I don't know what CMLL or New Japan does necessarily. I do know New Japan trademarks certain things because New Japan Pro Wrestling to this day owns the Bullet Club trademark. A lot of people think Finn Balor owns it. He doesn't. But they freely license it. They either license it to AEW for the Bang Bang Club or Bullet Club Gold or whatever it was, but they freely license it. They believe it helps their brand. And maybe it did, maybe it still does. People can argue about the wisdom of what New Japan does, but I'm sure they work all this stuff out in contract, either with the individual wrestlers to give them more leverage when they're negotiating with another company, or more likely with the other promotion. So now WWE is a better example in this case because they trademark everything practically. I mean, they're even trademarking the names of the NIL new signees, of which the rate is like 10% of them make it as far as Evolve or NXT, and less, above that. You do a rest. All right, you guys decide which of Homeboy's questions should be answered.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
Homeboy's great. He's funny, but he does try to hijack shows, and oftentimes successfully so if you let him. And he knows that I get distracted easily. So
good to tell me. Good to tell me that. I didn't know that.
He's funny. Actually, you might want to talk to him about. Anyway, never mind. But for WWE, so yeah, these are U.S. trademarks, but most of the world has adopted the British common law system. And there are all countries in Europe, or almost all countries in Europe, have a trademark. You can apply for separate ones in those countries, or you can apply for an EU block one. The ironic thing is the exception is the Brexiters in Britain. You have to, it's a separate one. I don't know the WWE bothers to do that. They might. But I suspect because everything runs on interstate commerce and on the interwebs and all these channels, whatever, that they probably would apply common law or U.S. law and bring them in U.S. federal court and say, you want to try to test us? I don't know. Just pick a WWE release wrestler that hypothetically uses their prior WWE name, say in whatever, Austria, or they're doing the one wrestling show in Ukraine, and they think they're outside the reach. All right, so you're let's just stick with Noah Heze. You're Noah Heze, and you decide to wrestle in Kyiv right now, and Odessa, and all the other cities we've been blessed to learn about in the last 4 years. And WWE finds out about it. Maybe we don't care, or maybe they sue you, but they sue you in the United States federal court. Probably for where are they now? Where's TKO now? I don't know. It was Connecticut before when it was WWE. When it was
Vegas?
Question mark?
Yeah,
they're in Vegas.
Yeah, so Vegas. So you're going to be in the United States federal court for Nevada. Well, have fun with that, No Way Jose. You'll probably just stop doing that, and you'll probably change it to, some,
Jose No Way.
Yet Jan, or whatever. Yet Ivan, whatever. So that's probably how it works. It's more leverage. If if No Way Jose worked for, let's say, Beyond Wrestling, and they owned his trademark, which doesn't happen, but that's they probably wouldn't do the same thing, or if they did, he probably would ignore it and not worry about it, because I don't even think No Way Jose lives in the United States, and so he might not care. But then again, if he lives in Puerto Rico, which is the United States, then he would care. But if he lives in the Bahamas, maybe he doesn't give a shit.
Okay. Well, we got
things internationally. It really, really is.
Got you. All right, we got a couple more questions we'll move on to, because we got a lot of different things to cover. Haas, you wanted something real quick?
Yes. Okay, Jeffrey, I have a question about VPNs, if you know much about them.
I don't know much about it. I know what they are.
Okay, well, some people, I'm not going to say who, some people view wrestling through VPNs.
Sure.
And I feel some of these bigger companies, TKO, AEW, what have you, they may try to do something about the VPNs being used. What is the judicial precedence that they would use to say, I'm going to stop American people from using VPNs to view our products, to keep away from paying these high prices for pay-per-views or PLEs? What is the judicial precedence they have to fight that?
The industry, if you're correct, and they're going to try to do something, I mean, there's a lot of success in that. Napster and all of the Music Guild successful suits. I mean, the Music Guild went after people routinely. I remember back when I used to run a division in a law firm, and our client was a legal insurance policy, and we got tons of people who were being sued because their kids or themselves were downloading music. I think it was the Radio Industry of America, something like that, and they'd
there was LimeWire, FrostWire.
But it was a guild. It was actually an industry that they represented the music industry on the whole, and we got pretty good at settling those cases for not very much. But I mean, they had a 100% winning record. I'm not sure that this is exactly parallel, because if you have a VPN, it just changes your country of origin. You still have to pay. You're still subscribing to Netflix. And so now we have a conflict with, do you want those industrious customers, or do you want them to find pirates, or do you want them not to be customers at all? Now, everything about TKO's DNA tells you that they try to chase every dollar. But of course, you're starting to see sort of chinks in that dam now, where they're backing off just a little bit after being gross for the last couple of years. I mean, beyond corporate unfettered capitalism gross. But I mean, Netflix benefits from VPNs. Peacock might benefit from VPN. So I'm not sure that their partners want them to pursue it. Disney Plus benefits from VPNs. I don't know that the pay-per-view is really what drives them anymore. Certainly not on the wrestling side of WWE. I mean, it's probably more of an AEW issue, but again, I think that AEW with Tony Khan just prefers to have customers rather than no customers or less customers. As far as TKO is concerned, I'm sure that there have been some heated or at least intense conversations between the streaming executives and the TKO people about what to do about this. And it's probably an ongoing debate. I mean, the second their revenue starts going backwards, I'm sure that debate will be cyclical and renew itself. But I think that the cat's out of the bag with that. And I mean, Stephanie McMahon sold VPNs on the podcast. So, I mean, wouldn't that be your exhibit A, in that it was tacitly approved, even though she's not even on the board anymore? And, who knows if she has any stock or anything like that. But it's actually different. So it's more like having a foreign unnamed bank account. It's sketchy, but it might be legal.
So it's like the FAIR Act.
I don't know. What is the FAIR Act? The one in New York City where they don't really enforce people who jump fares?
No. The Fair Acts, you have to register as a foreign national.
Oh, FINRA.
There you go. I said it wrong. My bad.
That's okay. I mean, it's nothing that you should. Yeah, I mean, but that actually gets taken pretty seriously when it's caught. I mean, it's very hard to do it. The funny thing with that is that a lot of people who violate it are also, petitioning for immigration. So of course they're going to get caught, and it's just like, if you're a citizen, it's or if you stay in whatever your country is, and there's a pretty good chance no one will ever find out until someone stumbles upon an audit or another criminal investigation, whatever. But criminals get greedy, and that's that's why Stringer Bell was right, and it's a shame that he got killed. But we would have organized crime here in Baltimore if Stringer wasn't taken out.
I love this quote. I love it.
Okay, I know you got a question, K-Dot.
It's not really a question. It's more so a comment to this. TKO's greed. Go back to that.
Oh, yes.
TKO's greed already has me on the brink of leaving this show. Can I ask you something, Mr. Northern D_C? Do you go shop at Walmart? Do you shop at Target? I just want you to know you're supporting greed, by the way. McDonald's, fast food, Sonic, anywhere? Just so you know. Anyway, the question I did have, I should have asked it earlier, and I apologize. Because, again, a lot of people like us, Kev might have a consultation and be like, oh, yeah, get a trademark easily. It's going to be $2,500. And people are like, oh, thanks, and hang up. But, if you can kind of give, just an estimate or general range of what it costs for people again, the Smoke Sessions podcast. We won't say that because I don't think Disney wants to sue for that. Hopefully not. But Smoke Sessions podcast, something like that. A startup. What do trademarks go for? Like that.
Okay.
And estimates, things like that.
Like anything else, it depends who you use, how many classes. So let's start with this. It always makes sense to have a trademark search done before. It's like not buying a property and not having a title search done. So you want to see if the field is clear, because if the field is not clear in an objective sense, then just find another name you like as much, or don't bother with the trademark. Remember, podcasts are copyright also, and there's lots of movies with the same name. There's lots of books with the same name, and that's not infringement. As long as the entire content is. It's when you try to go into trademark that it becomes tricky. Assuming that the field is clear, then it depends on how many business classes you have. So you're applying for a trademark with the United States Patent and Trademark Office. Each business class, and there's 45 international business classes, which 103 countries have agreed to those numbers corresponding to those business classes, and there's subclasses, but you only pay for the actual master class, the prime class. And each one costs $350. Up until 2026, the first one was $350, and then all of them after were $300. But now they're all $350. Big deal? Maybe it is a big deal if you have a low budget. So where every $50 counts. That said, let's take yours, the Smoke Sessions. So entertainment and streaming content would be on class 41. But if you're also selling merchandise, it depends on the merchandise. You're selling hats, hoodies, sweatshirts. That's class 25. Are you selling more than $350 worth plus whatever the commitment costs are with the rest of the trademark? Again, a trademark search is a great way of risk mitigation. It's not absolute. There's also an X factor at the end. So I am the owner of one trademark, and I don't even use it anymore. It's Garden of Doom, which was the original name for Garden of Thought. The people who made the video game Doom and the movie Doom opposed it in the 30-day. So the trademark office itself passed it through. They applied for an extension to dispute it during the 30-day publication phase, public comment. If you've ever heard public comment for any federal rules, same applies in trademark. So they did do that, and we came into a coexistence agreement where I agreed never to make a movie or a video game. Not a big sacrifice on my part. I currently have one that's pending. Now, I can say I own it because it went through the initial scrutiny, and now it's at the notice of allowance, which is where I certified that I've used it in interstate commerce and sent them proof that I did for Booking for Love, which is also a podcast where it's a single wrestler with the contestants vying for that wrestler's love. And as you know, as instead of like going on vacations and dinner dates and walks on the beach, the contestant needs to go to wrestling school for a week. They need to work the merch table. They need to show they're comfortable doing an OnlyFans session and photo shoots and all the things. They need to take road trips or, red eyes.
Sounds
They
like
need to
NXT.
go. It's a little bit like NXT Love Island, Nick. I mean, I'm sure somebody. Again, the trademark's just the name; it's not the idea, and I think it's already being stolen from me, which is all right. I also lost my Bachelorette. For those of you who don't know, the first episode of Booking for Love, we talked about it because my Bachelorette was Shazza McKenzie, and as she put it, she was no longer in the market to, mingle and be a mate at this point, and we left it at that. But she was kind enough. But she fulfilled her word to me and did that show. So she's cool by my books. And I'm looking into another trademark. I just have to see if other people want to get on board, either financially or there's other reasons involved. Anyway, so the cost, there's some variables to it. And the variables are things that, so if you're paying someone a flat fee, it usually doesn't cover fighting some of the hiccups. But some of the hiccups are procedural or administrative, like they don't know if you're an entity or they don't know if your color components matter. Those are no big deals. The big deals are if they think there's market confusion and conflicting marks. Those are the big deals. And those can come in the form of office actions, which are denials, which you can get, first and second. And then the X factor, the variable. And so if the trademark office denies it themselves or somebody objects to it, which, like, giving this information out, you could screw up a lot of people's trademarks because it kicks it into the Trademark Trial Appeal Board, which is an administrative federal court inside the trademark office in Northern Virginia. So you're very limited in how it's done, and it makes it much more expensive. Not a big deal to TKO, probably a big deal to URI, but I would say on a one-class trademark, probably anywhere between $1,200 and $2,500 is probably about right. If the service or lawyer you're using is banking that they're also going to cover you for one problem, and not come back asking you for money and just cut you off. A lot of places, they will cut you off and say, "Did you read this? It doesn't cover this objection, or it doesn't cover office action." So while you paid less on the front end, you took a little bit of a gamble, and then you owe another $1,000 or whatever. So it depends. It's not you get what you pay for. It's just read what it says and try to understand what it says or listen to the show. But there's a lot of it depends, and you should talk to people. I mean, there's a lot of places where you could get free consultations on it. It's just don't launch ahead and don't ignore the results of the trademark search. If you're smart enough to do it, don't ignore it just because you love your mark. That is, it's so dumb. It just really is.
Good word of advice here. I got a little bit of a masterclass. I think we're good with the legals. Hey, Dad, anybody else has one more further question?
No, I think that was great. Thank you so much.
I mean, I would, but I know we want to
go for it.
Some of the wrestling.
No,
I just
that's what Kevin Nash talked about a little bit.
I do want. I should have asked this first again, but I want to speak a little bit about the 90 days that we hear with the contracts in WWE, because again, this is just I'm not a lawyer, so this is just me thinking of it as a normal person. If I get fired from a job or they let me go,
it's funny.
Why can't I go?
You're a wrestling fan and doing a podcast, and you think you're a normal person. Which, by the way, guilty also.
Fair, but I don't have a degree in law like you do. So
I know
that's why I'm just.
I just want to show how funny and clever I am.
Oh, you. I mean, we're all not normal for being here without talking some wrestling. I think a lot of people would agree with us. But no, seriously, if I get fired from a job, what? I can go out and find another one. Is this obviously the contract is a much different thing? But how come WWE in this instance? Because that's just what I see from them more than most people. Is it more of a we're gonna not let you compete anywhere for 9 days because they want to clear your names off from their merch, their website, their marketing, licensing? Why do you think that they do the 90-day no complete calls in WWE?
I think it's for all of those reasons, but I think the biggest reason is that they think that they built something that's marketable, and they don't want you to piggyback off of them building you up, despite whatever hard work you did. And they always say the wrestler has to get themselves over, but the second they're gone, you were nothing without the machine. And whether that's true or not, I guess depends on the person. But the bottom line is right. It's in the contract. So if your contract just ends, there's no non-compete. If the parties mutually agree to a release, it might be immediate without the non-compete. Or it could be like the New Day where they get the non-compete. Now, if you're the New Day, I don't know what they were being paid, but they've been with the company for what, 15 years or so between.
Kofi's been with the company since like 2008.
Yeah,
right, that's 18 years.
Kofi's been with like 20 plus.
Like 2008. I was watching Kofi when I was a kid in like 2008.
So can we all agree that he's not even including royalties, that without exaggeration, it's probably conservative. It's probably too low to estimate that he makes $2 million a year on his guaranteed minimum. Okay.
Yes.
So, and Kofi Kingston, pretty big star. If he came to your indie, a lot of people would pay to see him, if for nothing else, because of what he did, years ago with Kofi Mania, et cetera, et cetera. So he gets 90 days. Now, listen, that's 3 months pay. You get paid your full rate and your royalties during that. So that's a quarter. So you're getting paid half. He's getting paid, in our example, $500,000 to prepare for the next stage of his life. Now, for Kofi Kingston, the next stage is probably pretty easy. It's whatever he wants it to be, but probably knows he's going to at least get, one large payday from AEW, either for X number of years or for X number of shows. Mm-hmm. It might be different for someone else, but they're paying you during that. If it's NXT, that 30 days, they're paying you for 90 days if it's the main roster. So it's not that you just can't work. I mean, the key to the you can't work is that you're also getting paid during it. Okay. The only thing that's not key is that you can't reject the pay and then start to work. So you're taking the money whether you want it or not.
I see. So okay. So I guess the reason why I asked that, because I wasn't fully aware about them being paid during that makes a lot more sense now.
Yeah, I think Homeboy there was confusing Rick Rude with Lex Luger as being on two shows.
Rick Rude. That's what I was about to look at right now. I was looking the same thing.
That's all I wanted to ask.
That was also Lex Luger as well with the Monday Night Nitro when his contract expired. Again, I'm sorry.
And by the way, I'm just saying those things are probably why they started adding the 90-day non-competes. There wasn't always non-competes. I mean, you routinely could see Scott Hall and Bruiser Brody on 3 shows that week. They just taped, in different weeks or different months.
Yeah, exactly. Get us.
No, I was just saying, man, this is a very informational episode. Like, everybody who's tuned in today, you learned something today. So this is great. This is great.
Which is going to lead me to the question that I know you wanted to talk about. I also wanted that question. Final one for actually is the unionization of wrestlers. We've seen that in the UFC where they should have done that with the UFC with the fighters, because now there is no Bellator went away. PFL hasn't been a strength. And you see the UFC side, pay rates are very low and not and it's hurting the product. Now here with the wrestling with the unit, and you see Kevin Nash, who was very outspoken in his podcast, mentioned something about that, how they should go under not just as sports but as a the saga. Your thoughts on that? I know you wanted to elaborate on that, Mr. Lippman.
Yeah. I mean, I think UFC is a great example because it's in some ways a bigger business, or at least it was. It is much worse for the labor. Same type of contracts, non-competes, class action suits filed. At least one of them was settled, not for very much, and nothing changed with the industry whatsoever. So, they got money and they got back pay. And ironically, one of the people who could claim money under that was Brock Lesnar. He, apparently under the math, he was entitled to a fair amount of money. As far as unionization, so let's start with this. Unions are for employees. So wrestlers, as long as they're independent contractors, would not be in employees. Also, your employer needs to be a union shop. Madison Square Garden, famously a very union shop. That's one of the reasons why it's so expensive to be there.
Mhm.
Some people love that, some people don't because of the labor, and then you get every sitcom from the 70s joking that nobody does their job or whatever the case might be. Independent contractors have guilds. So SAG is a guild. That's what the G stands for. It's the Screen Actors Guild. I'm not exactly sure what ASTRA stands for. I think it's the Arts and something, trade association. Same thing. Anybody here can call up SAG-AFTRA, fill out an application, pay the thing, and get a SAG-AFTRA membership. To keep it, you have to get a certain amount of credits from places that use SAG-AFTRA contracts. So, like independent movies, they're generally not union movies or guild movies. And there are, there's the Directors Guild, and there's the Screen Actors Guild, and there's the Writers Association, and it's very complicated in showbiz, but SAG, for SAG to mean anything to wrestlers, wrestling promotions have to use their contracts. Doesn't have to start with WWE. Of course, it makes sense to. Problem with this is that when you start getting benefits, anybody here who's ever worked for an employer and you're asking for a raise, you're like, you're paying me $35,000 a year. I'm worth $40,000 a year. And they're like, yeah, but we contribute to your 401k, your insurance, you get dental, you get vision, you get 2 paid weeks off, and you get 5 days of PTO, and this and the other. Your entire package is worth this, and your costs are and labor costs are actually 30% of our budget. So we can't give you X amount of dollars. So the costs will go up immediately to the employer, or the company, the promotion, overnight. If that happens, well, what's going to happen there? They're either going to pay less or have less talent. Probably less talent, because especially WWE, which is in love with the stars. They are releasing people like water. They're only keeping the stars, and people can slide up and down the card, and comedy acts. There's basically no mid. The mid cards in any division very thin. So you can see what their philosophy is. Either you're a star or you're not, or we're asking you to take a pay cut, and even then we may not keep you, Damian Priest. Speculation only. Anyway, so actually though, and I think there's a solution, but the solution requires an act of Congress. Normally that's a Herculean, right? Normally that's a Herculean task, but there's a McMahon in the cabinet. I'm not saying she cares about it. Triple H is in that office a lot. I'm not saying he cares about this. The cons give to the Trump campaigns. Not that they necessarily care about that, but
Jeff, say that again. Say that again. What did you just say?
The cons give to the Khan family, at least gives to the Trump campaigns, their inaugurations, whatever.
The sickos don't believe you when you say these things out loud.
It's literally public information. You could literally go and it's public.
Yeah, and it's in several places. It's saying campaigns, the inauguration, and all that.
Exactly.
And most business people give to both sides. They're hedging their bets. They want to have access. That's the whole thing. The point is, right now, because of that, it is a point in time where if a few people have the ear of one person, you can get legislation done in a one-party government, which is essentially what we have until November. All this act would have to be is people who are in the entertainment and similar gig-based independent contractor economies are entitled to join a trade association, and that trade association for this type of industry, including but not limited to, so wrestling, MMA, poets, comedians, musicians, you could put in Uber drivers, you could put in podcasters, whatever, can join this trade association, and the trade association can function as a group for benefits purposes. And all that means is that people who belong to that trade association have access to benefits at group rates. So not for free necessarily. Unless the dues are high enough to pay for it, but that's not likely the way. But at least they have access to insurance instead of 100% of the cost. Maybe it's 70% of the cost. And maybe they can also contribute to now a 401k instead of just their savings account because they're under a group. And the benefits coordinators will come to you. And the best thing is the trade association are typically not-for-profits. And while there's room for fraud and largesse in that, Hopefully you have a board of directors that doesn't allow for that sort of thing. Hopefully you get your Kevin Nash's and your Mick Foley's and your Jeff Lippmans and Conrad and people who care about wrestling on the board. Be Brian Blair. Maybe the Cauliflower Alley Club is the group that becomes that trade association. But that's my solution to out of the box to at least help the industry. It will not fix it. It's not a panacea, but the independent contractor thing is not changing anytime soon. Certainly not with this administration. Certainly not with the government lying about trying to cut its costs. It reduces every time it reduces staff. Assume that it's hiring at least one independent contractor for 3 times the amount of money. How do I know that? Because that's most of my clients. I'm in the Washington, Baltimore, Northern Virginia corridor. So my clients, they're now independent contractors that the department needs to keep them for their expertise, and they tell them form an LLC and we'll give you a $280,000 a year contract. When before they're making $129,000 a year plus benefits, whatever it is. I'm making up some of those numbers, and it's not uniform, but they're always paying them a lot more than they were making as an employee. And it's because benefits and HR and all of that stuff in the administration goes with for the government is probably 50% of their expenses.
Or less overhead as well. All right, yeah. That was very informative on the part there. I hope you guys enjoy this with Jeff Lippman and so forth. We're gonna change a little bit of gears, but don't go anywhere. I got a special announcement. We did break the news last night on the smoking session. We got some big news, and we're gonna run it again. Yes, indeed.
Time out. We becoming a band of brothers, right? We becoming a brand of brothers. So the smoke session, the smoke sessions.
What I keep saying, they're smoking.
No.
Yeah. So
okay. Hey, I'm like the Christopher Mad Dog Russo of podcasts. I get everybody's fucking name wrong.
I already got a good acronym for smoke. You know what I mean? Stay motivated. Only kings elevate. I can't change it to ing. I can't.
No. All right.
But now, honestly, go ahead, man. My fault. I didn't mean to interrupt.
All right. One more time. The Smoke Sessions and the Sports Jedi Network. We broke the news there. Okay. And we're going to break the news again. So here we go. We have a big interview coming up.
We interrupt your regularly scheduled program for this special report.
Special announcement. Sports Jedi Network and Smoke Sessions Podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, wrestling fans around the world, this is huge! The Sports Jedi Network and Smoke Sessions Podcast are proud to announce an exclusive special interview with none other than WWE Hall of Famer, the whole effing show, Rob Van Dam. That's right, RVD himself joins us live to talk about his legendary professional wrestling career spanning ECW, WWE, and TNA/Impact Wrestling. Plus, his major business move into the rapidly growing cannabis and wellness industry with the launch of Damn Good CBD. We'll dive deep into his record-setting 700-day ECW television championship, making history as the only man to hold the WWE and ECW World Championships at the same time, his WWE Hall of Fame induction, and how Damn Good CBD is changing the game in wellness, recovery, relaxation, and cannabis culture. This is going to be an unfiltered conversation about wrestling history, championship moments, recovery, business, cannabis culture, and the evolution of sports entertainment from one of the most innovative performers of all time. If you're an ECW original, if you grew up during the Ruthless Aggression era, if you respect trailblazers who changed the industry forever, you do not want to miss this interview. Make sure you subscribe right now to the Sports Jedi Network and Smoke Sessions Podcast. Hit that notification bell and be ready for one of the biggest conversations we've ever hosted. Rob Van Dam is stepping into the Sports Jedi universe and the Smoke Sessions where lightsabers and lighters spark up. And trust us, This one is gonna be 5-star.
Indeed. The Sports Jedi Network and the Smoke Sessions together. We will be interviewing him. That interview will probably be dropping Friday, but Thursday is when we're going to meet with Mr. Rob Van Dam, and then Friday we'll edit it and do all the things, and that'll be to your channels near you on there. So I am excited.
So Jeff, you'd be proud. I did do a little bit of study because I had to put "the" in front of Smoke Sessions podcast because a record label does music. So I began to teeter just the sports and entertainment, which is just wrestling and NBA talk. And we had to put "the" in front of it and change up the logo completely. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, you have to get on your ball because Nap and everybody wanted to start selling merch too, and it's like, wait a minute, we might get sued for this shit. Hold off real quick. But the Smoke Sessions podcast, I had to put "the" in front. Shout out to Kev, Chris, Hoss.
You got it.
Hoss had to take off his shirt to set that up. He went to RVD's house, took his shirt off, put the boombox up.
Again, very heterosexual. Very.
Very.
Well, Rob has an extra girl.
Yeah.
Rob.
Well,
that changes things.
Rob is the latest man.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. I shared something. I mean, it's a link. You probably got to copy and paste it. But he was interviewing MVP recently. And you see him. I didn't clip that part, but you see him. He's rolling up. He's rolling it up. He can definitely roll. That's for sure. But oh yeah, he was. And I said, yeah, we're gonna get along just fine. You know what I mean? We're gonna just get along just fine because I can go all day. If there's a Weed Olympics, somebody put me in the game. Sponsor me. I promise you.
Speaking of that, if hopefully you could come out of a high. We got AEW tomorrow night. Chris, what's going on tomorrow night?
So my computer was being very, very dumb. It's the places that are, when you save it. So I'm going to get the card up for you. But we have Double or Nothing tomorrow night. Louis Armstrong Stadium in Queens, New York. Guys, the main event. That's the talking point of the show. Mick Foley will be hosting. You got Stadium Stampede. I enjoy Double or Nothing. It's usually one of my favorite pay-per-views of the year ever since it's been a thing. There's a lot of things that could go wrong, and we can get into that right now with what Kev. I don't know where you guys want to start off. Me and Hoss obviously did the stuff on Wednesday, and I would want to hear more of your guys' opinion. So where would you like to start?
Well, thank you for giving me the honor. By the way, Chris and Haas do the post-show reaction live immediately after Dynamite. That's why I kind of deferred to him to lead us into the AEW part of the show. I would like let's talk about the Owen Hart tournament. We have the wild card. Everyone's speculating who is that wild card due to the fact that Willow Nightingale comes up with the injured shoulder. Willow, well, a lot of people speculating, is she really injured? Did she get pulled out? But when she vacates that TBS title, now you got to wonder, there is a legitimate injury to it. And it makes me wonder, why have Red Velvet wrestle Willow and now Willow gets injured? Like, it's crazy. Could Red Velvet be the one replacing her? I want to start with that one. If we want to go around the horn, I want to hear from Napgod first. Who do you think is that entry?
Well, first off, I hope if they're gonna put a title on someone, they finally, they do something with Camille, because I'm tired of just having her basically just show up and I guess, attack somebody, and then she disappears for like months and months and months, and you don't see her. It sucks that Willow got, and this is a legit injury. It sucks that it's a legit shoulder injury. But like you said, we don't really know the full details yet on it. But if she's vacating the title, this might be something serious, and probably surgery is coming. So that sucks. So I would like to see someone like Camille. If they're gonna do they kind of like spin it and they put it on someone we haven't heard. Like, I wouldn't mind that either. But I want surprise. I want a surprise. I don't want like, oh, well, this person's going to definitely win. Like, I want someone that's new, that's going to, make an impact. But, like you guys were saying, just it feels like half the time they're just signing people left and right and then not doing anything with them. They're just putting them either in these backstage weird segments that don't work at all, or they're telling them, oh, go attack somebody, become a heel, but then get off TV for like 2 or 3 months. And then we'll call you back in like the next 2 or 3 months. So some people are saying that could this be Sasha's return or something? I'm gonna be honest. I don't want to see Sasha with the title again. I think like she had enough run with that title. Like, I want to see someone else. So my best bet is gonna be Camille. I hope she wins because they need to do something with her instead of just having her just
Nap, let me ask you this: you want Camille as your TBS champion or your wild card? Just clarify for me, or the wild card entry, because I think those are two separate. I don't believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, Chris. Are they two separate?
I was just gonna say those are. So what this wild card is, it's to replace Willow's for her her being in the Owen. The TBS title, what they're doing with that has not been announced yet.
Okay, all right. So I was a little confused too.
So that the TBS title has she just happened to drop it there because she also happens to be the champion. So the TBS title for right now, we don't know what's going to happen with it. I didn't watch that last hour of Collision. Neither did Hoss. We were doing the show, so I might have missed it. But as of right now, it's just a wild card for the Owen. Which in that case, I think if it's not Mercedes. I think that there's a bigger thing there because I don't see her coming back for a while. But if you're saying Camille, I think it would be a good entry in the Owen. But my thing is, we know when Alex wins is going to win that thing. Whoever has to win, or whoever, I don't know how to word it. Whoever is that wild card, I think is going to be losing to Alex Windsor, which is why I don't think it's going to be Mercedes.
No, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Because I was also gonna suggest just bring up someone from Ring of Honor,
and it could be Camille. We could live in this world where Alex Windsor does bring Camille. Camille could be right, but again, I think it's going to be somebody that is going to be able to take a pin to Alex Windsor, and if it's Mercedes, she's winning the whole damn thing, and it's not even a question.
See, guys, we got to say the name right. It's Windsor. Get us in the name.
I was waiting for you to go. Yeah.
Windsor.
All right. So I'm gonna throw that same question to our guy here, Mr. Jeff Lippman. Who would you think replaces in that tournament for the wild card?
Oh, this is super fun because I haven't watched AEW in like 2 years, but I have like over a 90% successful prediction rate on their pay-per-views, which should tell you something about
here we go.
Their booking. Okay, Tony is, he's been good with surprises, at least in his, mind and the AEW fans' minds. So I was thinking it's going to be Mercedes, but you guys are sort of talking me out of it. I don't think it's going to be Camille. I don't think that's, but I also don't think it's going to be like a Zeta Steele or someone who's been relegated to Ring of Honor or Billy Stark. Someone I don't think that's it. I want to say someone who's been released from WWE, like maybe. Oh my God, what was her name? Ruby Riott. What's her real name?
Ruby Soho, but she's still there.
She's still
signed with AEW.
She's on paternity.
I know, but she hasn't wrestled in like 2 years. She had a baby. Her and Cool Hand Luke or whatever. They opened a coffee shop with games. Like that might be a sort of a big one-time surprise.
I like that.
Baker, I think might be a big surprise. I don't know who else has been hidden on. Like, is there a Stardom women's champion out there that he would think it's a big idea, and most people would be like, "Who?" and I'd be like, "Google it."
I think we have two of those already in the tournament. We already have two nobodies from Stardom. Hoss, we were like, what are they? Hakuzi and Sariri.
Yeah. Sariri.
It's true. I did used to. That's. I'm gonna go with Ruby Riott, Ruby Soho. Sorry,
that'd be cool.
You know what? I like what you're thinking. Right over to you, Famous Davis.
I'm gonna go ahead and take this opportunity to go ahead and roll up and go and lob this because
You can do both.
yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. Who the fuck cares, man? You know what I
There
mean?
you go. I love that.
Look, I can go on YouTube and I can go watch a Coachella lineup, and it's gonna be more entertaining. I heard, look, Rolling Loud might be good. Look, it's a whole just throw a festival if you want to, man. You know what I mean? Why are you gonna do all that, man? Some of us are 40s. We ain't trying to do all that, man. This ain't, you know what I mean? This ain't 2002, 1996. We're not here for that after party and after hours. We don't do all that, man. We'll drink during the day so we can crash out early, man. I don't really give a shit. But hey, Chris, I'm gonna lob it, man. There it is.
Lob City. Well, here, let's.
Yeah, I get it, Chris. I was gonna say I want to go to Hoss because I give you my.
Yo,
I was waiting last for my prediction.
Go ahead. Hoss, Kev, then Kev.
Yeah, there it is. Hoss dog right there. Man.
All right.
Look, when we play 2-on-2, when we play 2-on-2, hold on. When we play 2-on-2, I don't care who it is. We gonna be skins. Me and Hoss, no matter what. Y'all who.
We serving too much sexy out here, Famous Davis. We serving too much sexy. but
once again, we are very heterosexual.
Very. Remember, big on the very. But yes, the wild card. I said this on Wednesday. Whoever wins that match is going to win the complete tournament. That's the way I'm going with it. And that's the way. Like, I don't know. Tony is not going to miss the chance to put someone there to either beat Alex and go win the whole thing, or Alex win the homecoming. You know, Alex in England, big thing. So, you know, Tony loves his homecoming winners, whatever the fuck that means these days. But yeah, that's where we're at. For the TBS title, I was telling Chris on Wednesday, it should be Mina Shirakawa or Harley Cameron. Like, truth be told, like, I'm sick of catering to the wrestling fan that loves moves. Let's go back to what sells. Sex sells. The last time we saw Harley Cameron on TV, she was showing breasts. The best thing you saw on Dynamite that Wednesday was Mina Shirakawa tearing Harley's shirt like Hulkamania. Yeah, that's the best thing you saw.
So Haas is saying, put away the moves, bring out the boobs.
That's right. That's right. You want to increase ratings? Show some skin. Real skin. And you know what? Real skin in the game is Harley Cameron or Mina Shirakawa.
Hoss, look what you did.
Look what you did.
Wow. We're bringing sexy back, everybody. Don't you see it? Look,
and we've been talking
about Mason Rook for 2 or 3 weeks. Look at the real sexy beast over here. Look at him over there. Look at him. The ratings are going through the roof.
I'll body slam your mom now, lad. I'll body slam your mom.
I love it because we're gonna save him 50%. We're gonna save him 50% off on apparel in a few minutes, which I love it, man.
It's so right now, sexy it hurts. Look at that. It's
like
so
Old
sexy
Spice,
it hurts.
Purple Kush, and some money right now. Let's get into this, man.
Let's go.
That is money. That's
Northern just cashed
out. You're so hilarious that you make Chris stay like that, freeze in that face forever.
Is there a CBD
I got a screen.
Homeboy, you're watching the best show on the internet when it comes to wrestling. That's what you're watching right now. This is where you need to be. When you want to talk about grabs and nonsense, this is where you need to be, right here.
I'm sorry, like he was having a stroke. I said, oh shit.
The force is with K-Dot over there. You see, he lost his shirt. The dark side is upon him. Look at that. Look at that over there. See, we've been telling you that. See, this is what. Yeah, this is what when you put the speed title on big men, this is what you get right there.
I have to reread my release.
There we go. Aye. My bad.
Oh no, you're good. You're good,
Oh,
Haas. We were
yeah.
just
The
we were
internet-
just
my
having a good
internet
one.
was being dumb.
Oh,
You
we got
just
a good
gonna-
screenshot of you, man. We got a good
Oh,
screenshot
yeah.
of you, Chris.
You're gonna be viral tonight on the smoke
Me?
session.
Oh,
The
geez.
smoke sessions.
I
by the
had
way.
to be. I'm assuming K Dot and Nap, you guys will be live after the Eastern Conference. So me and my lady will be watching it. So I'm curious to
yeah.
see what this is. 'Cause I had a lag spike. My computer had a lag spike.
Oh,
So whatever face it was, I have no idea.
Yeah, it's classic. It's gonna be a
geez.
classic one. It's gonna be a classic one. Yeah, to wrap this up here, my wild card, because I saw a lot of they could have had a knee pad sponsor last Saturday. To me, who's going to come out there and be the sacrificial lamb to Alex Wins? It's going to be none other than the Hurt Machine herself, Red Velvet.
I hope so.
Okay. I mean,
She looked great against Willow on Saturday.
But she tongue-bait Tony Khan in that media scrum. Oh, if I was there, a Hall of Fame, I'm going to be the first one in the Hall of Fame. Holy shit.
I'm all for the baddies being the inaugural inductees.
That's
That
right.
was one of the worst
Anything
groups
for
I've ever
TV
seen.
time these days. Anything for TV time.
Hey,
Layla Gray, bring 'em out.
It works.
Yeah.
She's telling Tony,
What
get
you're
me out of the
watching right now.
basement, Tony. Out of the
Find
basement.
Kiara Hogan wherever she is.
Doing
Well, she-
reality
well-
TV.
Well, there ain't going to be no la from her.
That's okay.
You're watching
No.
the sexiest show right now, Homeboy 88. The most sexiest, most heterosexual show in the game right now.
Best
You know,
show
hey, yo,
on.
Nap, weren't we live one time at night? And I forgot what we was talking about. He says, that ain't PG-13. And I think we
Oh, yeah.
scared him off that night.
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
So
It was like-
sexy it hurts. Don't forget that. So sexy it hurts.
Don't
Right
show up
here.
for late night. You don't want to show up for late night. You don't.
No, indeed.
Damn right. Damn right.
Don't
One
show
more
up.
thing.
I encourage you. Not.
One more thing I will bring up here, because this will be the last thing for the Double or Nothing, at least on my side, because we still want to talk a little bit about Saturday night's main event. Obviously, we
Yes.
got to go with the elephant in the room. Darby Allin versus MJF. I think that's actually the only match really worth talking about right now. A lot of speculation. Again, I gave my predictions on Wednesday. MJF has to win. I could appreciate, what our guest here, Jeff, said. I could appreciate Darby's run a little bit because he's an original. I gravitated towards him in the beginning. I do. But at the end of the day, the title reign itself was not interesting. It was match after match, made the title feel like a prop. When MJF holds that title feels more valuable. The company feels on top. And it's just better for business. And I like Darby, I really do, but I'm very much looking forward to hopefully MJF becoming a 3-time AEW World Champion and doing what's right for business, getting the AEW back where it was back in March. So that's all I got. Let's go to Nap. Nap, what do you think about the main event?
So first off, I'm a big MJF guy, but like you said, Darby Allin's reign just feels like nonstop him running through walls when it comes to different champions. Now he's had some good matches, but like you said, he doesn't really like sell like MJF does, and you don't really see him doing all the stuff that MJF does, and so it makes sense to put the title back on MJF. If you want to bring back, not only eyes and everything, and like you said, money, the media thing. But I will say though, Darby Allin did impress me a bit because I thought it was gonna be worse, but he turned it around, so it turned out to be pretty solid. I just feel like they could have done a better job building this up. They could have done, something else instead of just having him. I mean, come on. You wait till Washington, you have MJF go through this crazy rivalry again, renewal with Kenny Omega and all that stuff. It felt like, and then I'm not gonna lie, I thought MJF was gonna lose to Kenny Omega because I was waiting for that. Because I was like, but then all right. But then when I saw that they were gonna go to Washington, I was like, oh yeah, Darby Allin's gonna win. But MJF is in a whole different league than the whole roster. See, that's the thing. MJF knows how to sell. MJF knows how to sell. That's That's the difference here, is that he actually knows how to sell. He knows how to sell himself, the company. A lot of guys don't know how to do that. And it's funny because the way he's selling himself is like if he was in WWE. Like he's going on the shows, he's talking about himself, he's on social media, he interacts with fans. You know, not a lot of guys are consistently doing that. MJF is like literally always doing that. Doesn't matter if he's either crashing out on somebody because, you know, he's in character, or you see him, you know, talking with Ariel and having serious conversations with Ariel. So
this man then turned from a Hall of Fame hater to a Portland Trailblazer. Jesus Christ, the glizzy, the amount, the audacity of your glaze.
You
could fill up a dozen of Krispy Kreme donuts right now.
Respect that. Hey, he has a diamond ring.
And then you got this man. Oh my gosh. And then you got this. Then you got this man putting on the scarf. You got
the Clippers.
Oh my.
Hey man, all I'm gonna know is that he has had banger themes and everything. So
okay.
There we go. Jeff, I know you haven't watched AEW in a few years, but MJF, Darby Allin, it's a big match in the company's history here at a big pay-per-view. Who do you think's going to win? And it's a hair versus title match. So if MJF loses, Darby's going to shave his head. That's why they got the Clippers.
You know, I'm aware of what's going on in AEW. I mean, I'm not pretending I'm not
Okay.
part of it.
I didn't know. I didn't.
I just don't watch the product. Listen, first of all, I want to comment, wow, this really is sexier than I was counting on, and I'm not sure that I can handle it. I'm a little bit old, and I don't have my heart medication here, so, you know, a little jumpy there.
Mr. Lippman, you got to say, but very heterosexual.
Yeah, but clearly very heterosexual.
There it is!
Whatever they're at me. I'm 57. I have 2 adult kids. I don't give a fucking shit anymore. Anyway, I got nothing left to prove to the world. Anyway, okay. I agree with everything that the extremely 2 very heterosexual, 2 sexy cast members have said about everything. Even though I praised Darby for being champion, it wasn't so much the run as it was the sticking to AEW people getting championships. MJF fits the same bill. Here's the analytical part of me. If MJF was in a movie where he was going to have to play someone who was bald or with a shaved head, we would have known he was going to be filming a movie, because none of them can keep their mouths shut about anything, especially a movie. So since he's not going up to be filming a movie, he ain't losing his hair, especially since a lot of his hair probably isn't his hair, or now it is, but it wasn't always. So, and that doesn't grow back exactly the same way as others. So I don't think he wants Exhibit A of his hair infidelity, his follicle lies, to be shown on TV week after week. So yes, I too am going to go with MJF and the scarf. And if clippers are used at all, it's just going to be as a foreign object instead of the diamond ring, if that still is a thing.
Yeah, I like that. Kev, what do you think? I want to hear from you.
Well, this is the era of the pendejo in AEW for Darby Allin, because he's the biggest pendejo in professional wrestling. They made him champion. So you know how Triple H it's a new era. So the Darby Allin era is the pendejo era. I think the pendejo is going to win. I think the pendejo is going to actually win. He's going to continue being champion. I think they never mentioned what MJF. He said he's going to lose his hair, but he didn't say it was going to be on his head. It could be on his balls. You know, he could have a manscape.
All right.
You know, run the Clippers.
Whoa,
run the Clippers.
Oh my. Look,
you know,
you have 5 seconds to drop that disclaimer, and you didn't drop it. We got to give you an AO moment for that one, man. $5. Sports Jedi tip jar.
It's funny you said that, because these are Manscaped Clippers right here.
I know. That's why I said that.
There you go.
Look, guys, listen. It was a nice run. This was a great opportunity. Oh my God! You did not go and get this man go to his closet to also get a fucking scarf that has no. You just act like you just came out from the winter time. It don't even look MJ. You look like you went from a football game. This one over here looks like he went out for the winter. Like,
bro, Nap looks like a Timo James Franco.
You gotta get ready, man. It's cold out here, man. You gotta get ready. It's cold.
just like Andrade's run in the AEW. Cold, ice cold.
Oh my God, very.
Put on some pants for that boy. Put some pants on him.
Very, very cold.
What are y'all doing, man?
Haas, I know you
Jesus.
think Darby's gonna win. Please don't tell me
Oh.
you still think that way from Wednesday.
Yes, I do. I have not wavered. I am with the sickos on this one. Tony Khan is going to say ratings be damned. We're going to get moments on pay-per-view. You're going to pay your $40 or $20 with my AEW, and you're going to see Maxwell Jacob Friedman shaved head on pay-per-view. I believe it. We are chasing moments just like a new era. We're going to be chasing moments at Double or Nothing. So, yes, there ain't going to be no nothing on pay-per-view. You're going to see a $15,000 haircut happen. And you know what Tony Khan is going to do? He's going to tell Max, hey, Max, I booked you to win, but we got to do it. We're going to break the internet on this one, Max. I guarantee you. I will give you 25 racks, Max. I'll buy your new hair. You got to shave your head tonight, and you got to give us a vignette tonight, and you got to show up on Wednesday with a bald head for Dynamite for the HBO Max numbers. Fuck the TV ratings numbers. We need the HBO Max numbers. We need to see your bald ass head out here kissing the ring of Darby Allin and keep this going. The sickos want it. No, they don't care about business. Chris, you see this scarf? I bought this scarf with my hard-earned money and All In last year. I bought this fucking scarf. I am an MJF fan. I really want him to win. But truth be told, the moment of him being shaved bald at 1 a.m. on Memorial Day is going to just take precedence. I swear to God, I promise you, I will be shooting bourbon 2 or 3 shots just to see MJF shaved bald. It would make my pay-per-view purchase worth it. I promise you. I don't care if I have to sit through 15 damn matches. If he gets his head shaved, I know he paid $15,000 in turkey for it. It'll make my night. And I'm an MJF fan. Full disclosure. I'm telling you, what's best for business is for Maxwell to win. But if I can see with that, if I see too bald for a real one, I promise you, I will cry laughing, and I might even shave my head bald because it's going to be a fucking moment. I swear. So yeah. Tony Khan, do it. Do it for the sickos. Make MJF shave their head bald. I'll buy the t-shirt that night. I might buy 5 of them.
Oh, my God. Because you said that on Wednesday.
I got an urge.
Yes.
Wait, we got an urge for Krispy Kreme donuts. The amount of glazing that's going on.
A lot of glazing, huh?
The starting point guard and the starting center are right there, right next to me, of the Portland Trailblazers. My goodness, guys. I mean,
we got t-shirts to sell.
Group chat, don't you?
We got t-shirts.
We got t-shirts to sell.
That's right. Pro wrestling tees. Come by. 2 bald for a real one. You gotta see. We got t-shirts to sell.
Well,
they got
t-shirts. Never text me because he don't ever give me his phone number. So we're very heterosexual, but I never got Haas's number. You know, he never slid in my DMs.
He doesn't provide that. He's a tough one. He doesn't give it out on the first date. A pause there.
You got to woo me a little. You got to woo me, man. Do you not know how special these DMs are, sir?
And you have to woo him Charlotte Flair style, not Ric Flair, because he's very heterosexual.
Man,
there it is.
That's right. I need that. I need a natural selection. I need chops, and I need a figure 8, not a figure 4. I need the sexiest of figure 8s.
He needs the chef's amuse bouche in that figure 8.
That's right.
Oh,
that's
damn.
right.
Man. Yo, I mean, I've seen Chris's post and the amount of real shit that he talks, and I want to respond, but he says, nope, I'm not letting none of you motherfuckers respond. So I was like, damn, we can't even respond. But he'll crash out on some people, man. He's speaking facts out there.
I mute my things because people come at me. And I'm just not dealing with it. I don't know how many times I got to sit up here and explain to people I'm not one of these AEW fans that's going to sit here and glaze and piggyback off Tony Khan. I'm just not. But too many people text me or in my fuck you. You don't know what I'm talking about. Well, fuck you. I just don't let people respond because these sickos aren't worth my time.
Chris, that's why I tell these people go move your ass a little bit.
Go fucking fish
and go wash your ass. Y'all up here, you don't exercise. You smell like shit. And
I can't say a word about AEW without some sicko in my.
Yes, they need to go work on washing their ass and repopulating the earth. We need new wrestling fans to come out here. That's the problem. We got the same wrestling fans that are they're not doing their civic duty by repopulating the earth. We need new wrestling
That's
fans.
crazy.
They smell like straight elephant balls. They need to do better. I promise you.
But you know what he said though?
No, but that's why I do that, K-Dot, is because I don't want to deal with the sickos in my fucking mentions.
I get you. You know what he just said? He just said, I'm with the sickos on this one. So you see, look, man, he's talking this noise about him, and then he's going into the circle, and they're like, wait a minute. We heard all that mess he was talking about us, Hoss, about we smelling like 2 bags of.
I was in the circle at one point.
And I have to do it because this is what the politicians won't do. The politicians like to glaze the people. I'm going to tell the truth to the people. Go wash your ass and go move your ass. I'm telling you, we need more people here. If you go move a little bit and you wash your balls, I promise you a woman will want to come lay with you and you will come reproduce like we need.
Wrestling fans are making the population just down more.
Yes, that's why the birth rate is low because the wrestling fans stink. They need to wash themselves. Dude wipes. You see the 20% off. Go buy you some dude wipes and guess what? Wait till we get sponsored by Dial soap. We're gonna help you out something serious. Dude wipes and Dial soap. Clean yourself up. I'm sick of being associated with people who don't use deodorant and wash their balls. I'm sick of it.
I agree.
Yo, Nap said he just updated the promo code for Hoss. So y'all can use promo code We Love TK to 59463. That's We Love TK.
I do not.
Now text dude save 20 59463.
Has anybody been in the same room with Tony Khan? He might smell too. Has anyone been in the same room with him? He likes a lot of wrestling. I'm questioning.
He smell like curry. He smell like curry.
Oh man, I ain't gonna say all that, but he might need to wash his ass too. Dude wipes for him too.
Look.
That's all I got for AEW, Kev.
Look at him. He looks like he needs a bath right now.
Okay, you can tell based on the hair. I'm gonna be real. You could again. Based on experience, you could tell based on the hair that's coming off a two-day binge. You ain't worried about yourself. You just trying to get through the night. You just trying to get through the day. I know what it's like.
He looks musty as hell right now.
Look, I'm just saying there are some moments when you're like, oh man, I'm gonna just do a couple things. I'm gonna do a couple
things. Holy shit, is that Hoss?
That's right. When I see Tony Khan, that's how I'm looking. So guess what? You wonder why women only get the same spot every week. Women cannot entertain Tony Khan for 20 minutes. We need to understand that.
Hygiene and advice show.
Yes.
Hoss, you could be the show. There you go. You can host it.
I'm telling you,
we are very.
I can't give out goals like this.
I am trying to improve the world right now. Just clean yourself. I promise you. They say cleanliness is next to godliness. Look at this.
You think you're ashamed? I'm telling you. Look, y'all. I think we should do a famous Hoss show. I think we should do a famous Hoss show, a 30-minute segment every week, and we do it with our shirts off and just talk about the craziest shit. Famous and all the shit going on in the IWC. We'll do it without shirts. The famous Hoss show. I already looked it up, Hoss. There's nothing in the world right now that's named Famous Hoss Podcast. We'll do that 30-minute show.
I'm with you right now. It's just going to be an instructional video of just how to take a shower. That's what's going to be. We're going to take shirts off. We're going to get soap. We're going to get loofahs, soap, and water. We're going to show wrestling fans how it is to get women. This is how you start. Wash yourself and go walk 5 miles. We're going to do the One Punch Man routine. Wash your ass and walk 5 miles. I guarantee you a woman will touch you within 6 weeks.
It'll work better if you do it in the other order. If you walk the miles, then wash your ass.
Yeah,
He-
yeah.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie.
It's
I want them to do either way. I want them to do it either way. It doesn't even matter.
It's still an improvement.
Yeah. It's a step forward in the right direction.
Right.
And then we'll work on fishing after that.
You're right. That's season 2. I'm sorry.
Okay. I got you.
This
I
is an
got you.
inadvertent plug. But fellas, also, you're gonna learn about something. You sickos. Even the little, how they call them, the feds or whatever, right? They're just as bad. They just about as thicker than a bar Snickers. So get some powder. Once you're done taking, but make sure you dry up though. You got to dry everything. Air dry. Put a fan. Air dry everything. Then you're gonna take some Johnson & Johnson baby powder. You're gonna slap that sucker right there.
All right, Diddy.
Woo! You're gonna be cool.
This is not AEW exclusive. I tell you, the WWE marks. I'm right with you too. Go wash your damn ass. I'm sick of being associated with you. I'm sick of it.
Have you smelled that NXT bus on a Tuesday? Oof.
Terrible.
Oh my
See,
God, Kev.
Kev, you know it.
First of all,
Musty.
we're not gonna do that. Okay, Mason Rook is on there. We're not gonna do that. You
No,
know what I'm
the
saying?
bus.
No, he's proven, like Haas said previously, that they don't give it. There's no standard for men. We can go in
None.
there today. We end up in the PC right now. They'll sign us to 30,000 standard contracts. The Haas and famous connection. We're gonna be wearing singlets, just like him. The little thong, and you know what I'm saying? We'll be doing that as well. Again, we're very heterosexual men, but at the same time, we'll be helping one another in case we can't get the singlets over. I'm just saying, man, look, now stop hating on NXT, man. Stop hating. Don't hate on NXT or AAA.
We're gonna get it over. We're gonna get it over because I'm gonna be doing. I will be doing a split in the singlet. We're gonna get the singlet over. We're gonna get it over.
Yes, and just because you air out your jersey, you can't wear it every week, man. So please,
Oh my God.
if you got a Japanese jersey and you're on USA Network every Tuesday, take that fucking
off.
Japanese jersey. Give it a rest, man. It's been 5 years you've been wearing that same jersey every Tuesday night, brother. That shit walks it by itself on the piece to the PC.
Again, Kev, we talk about it. These guys are not bathing. They're not washing their clothes. They're not bathing. This is why I bet you if you did an independent study on the birth rate of wrestling fans, it'll be notoriously low.
I told you, homeboy 88. Look, this is a crazy show. We derail the tracks, man. We scared you off the last time. He said this ain't PG-13, and he never chatted again. He was gone for the rest of the night.
I'm just trying to give you some good advice from the house. Do not be scaring the hoes. Please wash yourself.
For real.
Please work out. Please.
Yeah, we want the
and don't reverse the draw. Don't reverse the draws. You know what I mean? Just because you reverse the draws, you know what I mean? You can still be smelled. And don't spray Old Spice. That's gonna just enhance the funk. Don't be doing any of that.
And also for our lady viewer, this is gender neutral as well.
Oh,
wash the cooch too.
Whoa! I was just about to say we only critiquing the men because we are very, very heterosexual.
Y'all
thought I was crazy.
This is equal opportunity roast.
Equal opportunity roast.
You go. See, we have to talk about both sides. Wash every crevice of your body, men and women, and for all wrestling fans. No one wants to be called musty. No one wants to be called stanky. I promise you, because ain't nothing worse than you think musty men are bad. Man, musty women are a whole creature of their own. So yes, everyone get dude wipes and soap. That's the real Saturday night's main event. Wash your ass.
In defense of the wrestling,
you saying
the scent usually is coming from the dudes at the wrestling shows, not the women.
This is a male-dominated genre, so you're right, sir. You are.
Hey, I don't go around sniffing women, so I don't know about you.
I was part of the Biden campaign, so it was required.
The smell be so pungent, you don't have to sniff them; it's just there.
Oh my.
We are completely off the rails. Let's go talk about Saturday.
Let's talk about Saturday night's main event here.
All right.
This man is acting like he's going to the shows and literally putting his head between their legs and be like, damn, that should be smelling like straight Badusi around here. What is this? What is this?
He's like David Meltzer with the stink system. How many stars he gave him for the stench level?
He sat down. He said, man, it smells like Badusi. booty, dick, and pussy. I swear, it smell all up in here.
Oh,
If you
Yes.
know,
All right.
you know.
My last thing with AEW pay-per-view over and
I
under
didn't even know we were still
5
talking
hours.
about the AEW.
No.
pay-per-view.
This is my last question. Over and under 5 hours, real quick. No, we don't need over
No,
5 hours.
right there, 5 hours. Not even
5
over.
hours?
5 hours.
Oh, all right. Let's get into
Over.
Saturday. Yeah, over. We got an over. All right. Let's get into Saturday
Holiday
night's main
weekend
event.
over.
Before we get into Saturday night event, I gotta hear from our sponsor because it is summertime.
Summer is
We'll
upon
still
us
have 'em.
real
They'll still
soon.
have us after this
When the temps start to climb, cool down your undercarriage with a poopsicle. Dude Wipes team created the world's first ice pop scented butt wipes. Every dude deserves a little treat after dropping a dookie. Poopsicle Wipes. Get your butt over to the TP aisle or snag a pack online. Here, your promo code. Text DUDESAVE20 to 59463. Get 20% off. Dude Wipe, sponsor of the Sports Jedi Network channel. Feel the force. Stay Dude Wipe clean.
This is the one and only Paige, and you're watching Sports Jedi Network. Feel the force.
Love her.
All right, we're
I'm a
back.
witness. I bought the poopsicles.
Talk to me.
I would tell y'all, ladies and gentlemen, again, please understand something. I need to make this real fucking clear. I am very heterosexual. I mean that with my full conviction. But when I used the Dude Wipes, I felt like I was sticking a bomb pop right down my crack. I promise you. It smelled like I had a bomb pop.
Radioactive.
White lemon lime, cherry, and blue raspberry.
I think Chris is about to veto this partnership.
That's so specific.
Listen, I had to smell the wipes because I need to see. Like, okay, this is what the scent's for. Let's see. I promise you, it leaves.
This
And
is for the
then
After Dark show.
just text Dude Wipes. I mean, text Dude Save 20 to
Jeff,
594.
Jeff, there's no after dark. We tell the truth in the daytime.
Okay.
Hoss will personally send you a message. Hoss will personally send you a message if you text Dude Save 20 to 59463.
Hey man, I'm applying the cameo as we speak, so why not?
Ooh, there you go, man. I'm just saying I did try them and I tried that, Dr. Squash, all that stuff, man. Try it out, fellas. I'm talking about the
Definitely. No, definitely. And if sitting 5 hours on a stream, whether it's a stream or watch along or AEW, you can always get the medicated Dude Wipes. It goes well. It gives you that medicated feeling and all that good stuff. So I want to thank Dude Wipes for being a sponsor of the channel. Yes, everything. Those are real sponsors. Everything's real. Even the takes are authentic. Nothing is forced. Nothing is fabricated to say this is all keeping it in a buck 100% truthfully and to this right to the core. And if you have that
one more thing, Kim, before we move on. Drop a dookie. Don't smell like dookie. There you go.
There you go. And you could also get Medicaid. You could also get scent bombs. Or even the spray. You go in there. You don't want to. No. I mean, you think you're gonna end up dropping a bouquet of roses or a bird of paradise in there. No. Get the scent bombs. Be considerate. You're not the only nose in the home or anywhere you go. So yeah, enough with that. Let's go to Saturday night's main event. This is being told by WWE headline Penta versus All Ego Ethan Page. That's the headline match of the night. Jeff, I want to go to you, sir. I know with all these hijinks, reel us back into a little serious. Penta and Ego Page. Are you enjoying All Ethan Page? A short run on the main roster.
I loved Ethan Page in NXT. I don't watch Raw either. So I guess I haven't been, but I'm sure in theory I would. I'm going to go with Ethan Page because I understand that he's in some sort of alliance, even though it's uneasy with Rusev, though I could see WWE loving to go the three-way route. And since Cass is coming back, but it's rumored that Enzo's coming back too, he's not going to be the Diesel, though he might be the Casshausen. I don't know. I'm just going all Ethan. Ego. I think Penta's doing great. He doesn't need a title. I think they're going to loan him to AAA, reunite the Lucha Brothers, do something with Phoenix because nobody gives a shit about Phoenix anywhere he goes solo. I don't care. the AEW fans completely lied. Phoenix was interesting for a year when he came back to life as Dark Phoenix in Lucha Underground. Just like Ricochet, the only time he was interesting is when he didn't speak for 4 years on Lucha Underground with a mask on his face. What was the question again? Oh yeah, ego. All ego, Ethan Page. He's interesting. They need interesting, and Penta has the aura. The kids love aura. People do the dance, whatever. So, he doesn't need the belt. I hate that term, but in this case, it's true. He doesn't need it.
No, I like what you said. Shout out to Paige, who was this. You heard on that read there, and like you said, I don't know if they're interested more in threesomes. I mean, we already got Paige in the company, but Haas, I'm gonna go to you there. Who do you like winning here tonight between All Ego, Ethan Page, and Penta?
This is twofold. I got Page winning. I believe they're going to push the international. Well, I say international. My bad. We're talking about AEW. The Intercontinental. I think they're going to push the Intercontinental tough this coming year because we're not going to have Roman defending the title as much on Raw. So we're going to see a lot of Intercontinental challenges. Not an open challenge, but a lot of matches. So yeah, I got Ethan Page. They like promo work, and he's just a better promo than Penta. No disrespect to him. Penta has come a long way, but Page is very good at speaking. So they're gonna give him the title. And just for talking about Saturday night's main event in a nutshell, if this match card doesn't show you anything, the WWE does not care about ratings. They don't care. They get all the money off ad revenue. Because if you look at this card, no one here is selling you to come watch me over NBA playoffs tonight. Nobody on this card. And again, no disrespect to Penta and Page. I like both of them. But neither one of those guys are keeping me from watching the New York Knicks and the Cleveland Cavaliers tonight. That's just a fact. So the WWE.
But would any pairing get you to watch this over that game?
If you gave me Roman versus, I guess, CM Punk the rematch, maybe. But there's not enough stars in the WWE to really push it. And they don't.
There you go.
They're rubbing this in your face. They're like, bro, you either are a wrestling addict or you're not. Because this show is not going to get anybody to watch it. Like, you either love the show or you don't. Because just look at this. We're going to talk about this card. But the headlining is Page and Penta. These are mid-carders.
It's Memorial Day weekend. Most normal people are away. Or they're at the beach.
You're right, Jeff. You're right. You are so correct. But wrestling fans don't bathe. And so they're not on the beach. They're not taking their shirts off, other than K-Dot over here. They're not taking their shirts off anywhere. They're watching wrestling. And they're watching this nonsense.
They listen to you. Maybe they learned.
Another thing about wrestling fans, a lot of them don't learn.
I mean, I'll be watching wrestling.
I will be watching with you while I'm watching the Knicks and the Cavs. But anyway, you got me.
Sean Kemp's still on the Cavs.
You got me off track. But yes, this card is very not inspiring. That's the best way I can put it. If I don't want to slight these guys anymore. Any guys or gals anymore than I should. I don't want to slide them that much. This is a very uninspiring card. That's best I got for you. And if you want to hear somebody talk about it even worse, listen to what Jim Cornette talked about this card. He went in worse than I did.
Yep.
Yes. So I'm gonna leave it at that.
Yeah, go ahead. Time in there, Chris.
No, I agree. It's a tough one, obviously, with the playoffs and all that stuff. I'm very, very curious for the next game. So I'm going to check it out, of course. That's why I got all monitors and all that stuff. But, yeah, I mean, with Penta and Ethan Page, I do like Ethan Page. I know that was the original question here. I do think Ethan Page, should win this title. Again, I think very highly of Penta. Like Jeff said, he's very over with the kids. They love the aura. But let's get that title on somebody who could speak and get heat in the crowd. I don't know. For some reason, the heel champions recently have gotten me more interested in title runs. So I hope Ethan Page wins. I mean, there's no real wrong answer here. Even if Penta does retain, I mean, it's fine. I mean, they could always do it again. They could, like Jeff said, they could do the triple threat and do the triple threat between Rusev if they want to get involved. Maybe he does get involved. So There's a couple. Yeah, I like that. I like a couple ways this could go, but I do got Ethan Page.
All right, Ethan Page. Hey, Dot, who do you like?
Well, first off, Haas, it's like you argued with yourself, then answered your own question. Pardon me. Hold up. Because exactly what you said about the NBA playoffs is why you're seeing this Saturday night's main event card.
Exactly.
Peacock knows what they're putting out. They know what they're putting out. Imagine if you put Roman and all that. You put the Fatus. You put the whole nine. You put the Tony Khan on an A-ball line up together, and that shit flops. Guess what's gonna be the talk of the town? WWE don't got numbers. Look at that. They flopped to the NBA playoffs, game 3. Meltzer gonna be doing, running circles around it. Mind you, he'll get winded after about 2. But yes, all that shit will happen. So that's why you're seeing the card that you're watching, because look, a lot of it's gonna be ad revenue, etc. On that note, Chris brought up interference of Rusev. I look at the other cards, the other championship matches. And I think Rusev does get involved, but I think he inadvertently cost Ethan Page. For some reason, I think there's going to be another title change, and it's because we got both the men's and the women's. One of those has got to change. And if you're talking about heel runs, we're not going to the next one, but because of these other championship matches on the line is why I think Penta retains, because Rusev is coming out to help. But it ends up costing Ethan Page. Therefore, you got yourself a triple threat match, whether Clash or SummerSlam, whatever. But I got Penta. Yeah, I would change.
Oh, I like that. Yeah,
Nat,
That's fair.
No, I like it. Nat, your thoughts?
Well, I want Ethan Page to win. So that I said that he was gonna win with Rusev coming in and helping him. But as it was going, it kind of makes sense if Rusev costs him the championship or the opportunity to win. Because the way it's looking, there's 2 things I see. If Ethan wins, the next person that's going to be in line for that that opportunity is going to be Rusev, and he's going to be like, okay, so you're going to cut me a solid, right? Because I helped you. You're gonna, help me. And then that's why I feel like this is where it's gonna come into play, where Rusev's probably not gonna get the way he wants, and Ethan's gonna spin it where but I did most of the work. I was in this match. I got that opportunity myself. So that's how I can see it. But again, I wouldn't be surprised if Penta wins, because because obviously the next day. Well, I'm gonna say Ethan Page, because I want to be different. I want to say Ethan Page. I'm predicting that he wins. I just I want to see him on the title. So does he need the title? Probably not. But
I just feel like you can't kill. Obviously, if Ethan Page wins, the next rival is Rusev. But unless you're turning Rusev face and back into Rusev Day, I don't see the payoff of a storyline there. So that's why I think Ethan Page eventually does win the IC title, and he sneaks it through a triple threat match. And I think that's what pisses Rusev off, Penta off, whatever the case. But yeah, I just
like it.
No, I agree 100%. Because I brought that up. I brought them interfering up originally because we can kind of see that on Monday Night Raw. I know it seems like they're on the same page, but it's all going to come down. They both are going to want that IC title. So if that makes sense. So that's why I initially thought of the interference.
Now, I know you guys mentioned about the card not being strong, but there are featured 12 ladies. There is 12 ladies in this whole up and down card. From the so shout out to the women. One of my favorite pay-per-view last year was the Evolution pay-per-view. It was one of the best, very good one. You got a non-title match with Soruk and Becky Lynch. We could debate that that was a nonsensical. Why not have the match for a title? It's like one of those title eliminators matches there, which I'm not a big fan of those. You also got the Irresistible Forces with the Bella taking on the Bellas for the tag team, where I think a lot of people don't have a lot of expectation or hopes on that match. And then you have the 6-woman tag with the story is, can Charlotte get along with Rhea Ripley, where Jade Cargill is trying to get her title back with her group. Out of those 3 women matches, I'm gonna go, to right back to Haas. Which one, if you wanted to really tune into one or any, it captivates you?
I'm gonna just tell the truth. The booking has hurt all women involved, every last one of them. Because I mean, unless these one of these women or maybe a few of them are one of your favorites, you have no reason to watch any of these matches. They're all heatless because we already have the Clash in Italy card. You got Jade and Rhea already. So if you wanted Jade to pin Rhea, it doesn't even need to happen. It has no reason to happen. And Sol Ruka and Becky, it's non-title match. Even if it was a title match, there's no heat going into it. You just got Becky saying, welcome to the big time, which she said in the last 3 feuds. So it's just repetitive. And Sol Ruka, they're trying to push Sol Ruka, but they're giving you that she has to pay her dues trope. She hasn't won a match since she's made the main roster. She's lost to Liv Morgan. She's lost to Becky Lynch. Well, she hasn't fought Becky Lynch yet, but she's looked bad against Becky. She's lost to Io. So yeah, she hasn't won on the main roster. And we talked about the tag titles. They're a nothing burger, absolute nothing burger. So unless you like looking at either one of these 4 women, there's nothing for you to watch here. Absolutely nothing. And I know that they may come off as misogynist or sexist, but I gave you the preface that the booking has betrayed every last one of these women. So don't blame me. Go blame Triple H, Ryan Ward, Bruce Pritchard, Michael Hayes, Cassandra Alexander, whatever her name is. Blame the whole writing crew.
Cedric Alexander.
I don't care whatever their names are, whoever they are, whoever these people are, they're all terrible. But yeah, the booking has failed on every last one of these women. I have no interest in any of it other than aesthetics. I'm gonna just tell the truth. Other than just gooning after these women, I have no reason to watch them, and that's the booking's fault. That's where I am with it.
When he says we are very heterosexual, I'm going to have a little bit of doubt, just about maybe 5% doubt, just for about 24 hours, Hoss, because you should have not done the women this way one bit.
I did. I told you I'm going to look at them.
But now we're not talking about. We listen. There is a match looking forward to, and I really feel like this is the time, and I think we should transition into this match. But Paige and Brie Bella versus the, of course, Irresistible Forces. I think if you're needing to bring a little bit of credibility, I'm not saying a whole bunch, I get it, but a little bit of credibility back to the tag team title scene in any general, doesn't matter, men or women. This is the match where the titles change hands. This is going to be, in my opinion, the match where the title changes hands. I mean, I get it. A lot of people, and I said it yesterday, I think we're all, well, Paige, the whole Paige experiment, they're going to still continue with that. But in my opinion, I think the only way to bring that legitimacy back is you need to put them titles back on, because who the hell is going to beat them? It's going to look insane. And again, just my opinion, I think that's where the tag team titles do change hands, and I think they should. I don't see what's going to happen. Nikki Bella's going to come out. I mean, I know we were talking about it last night now, but Nikki Bella going to come out because I don't see any way possible for them to get the job done. They're going to fall off the turnbuckle, Nia Jax is, and they're going to do the roll-up, put their feet on the legs, on the ropes, and whatever. I mean, I think this is where the Irresistible Forces reclaim those titles. There's going to be there's 3 title matches. One of them has to change hands, and I think it's going to be this.
Chris?
I agree. You could even, I'm not going to say Nikki's going to turn, but on Brie or anything like that, I don't think that's going to happen. But I get the titles back on Nia and Lash. I think they're good as tag team champions. They make the tag team division there feel a little bit more legit instead of not that Charlotte and Alexa don't, but those are 2 main event stars just being together. So maybe you don't really want to see them as a tag team. You want to see a lot more of them 2 individually. Same thing with Rio and Io and Rhea. So Nia and Lash, they're still legit. They're young. I think you could do other stories with Brie, Nikki, and Paige, and I think you could keep the tag team titles back on Lash and Nia. Again, you could run this back in a clash or something with the actual story or whatever. If Nikki does get in the way, she could it's just there's a couple ways that this title change, like K-Dot said, could happen. But yeah, I got Nia and Lash. That's what should happen.
Mr. Lippman, your take?
All right, real quick. Soul is going to pull out a win out of the jaws of defeat over Becky. I think that Fatal Influence interferes in the tag match, as does Nikki Bella, so it ends up being a schmaz finish so that the titles don't switch. And I believe that Jade and the baddies prevail over Rhea and the crew because they cannot get along.
I like that. I like that thought. Napguard, you want to elaborate on this?
Well, like I've been saying, abolish the tag titles if they're going to keep putting main event. Hey man, listen. I'm just gonna be honest here. It's not fun. It's not fun to see non-tag teams just being bunched together into tag teams, which it does not make sense. Charlotte and Alexa are a perfect example. 2 main event, really good single competitors bunched into a tag team. That doesn't do anything. Doesn't elevate, doesn't do nothing for them. The real tag team out of everything was Nia and Lash. But like you said, if they do win, you're not going to see anyone really be able to take the titles off of them because they're just going to be too unstoppable. So when you look at the Nikki situation, I don't think she's medically cleared yet, but surprises, she could just come out with a crutch again and, hit Nia or Lash at the most random time. I forgot about Fatal Influence. That's another team. They have a lot of heat right now, so this can get them more heat if they screw this match up and nobody wins and it just turns into another situation. But I kind of find it very interesting is they also could interfere in the Jade versus Rhea situation where you know how like Jade basically came out, kind of helped them a bit, but now it's like there's a common theme here because they already have enough heat where they can screw another match if they want to. Because really, like Charlotte and Alexa don't need that win more than Jade and the baddies do. So they, and the way I'm looking at it, if Fatal Influence really, puts, if they want to, be the true heels and all that, and they could basically screw both of these matches if they want to. So, hey, I'm just saying, K-Dot.
I didn't listen, brother.
That's just a possibility. But
I'm looking at something. That's all. Not you.
Yeah, no, I originally had Nash and Nia winning, but I think it makes sense to just squash this match. Lash.
Oh, Lash.
Hold on. Let me give a quick moment here because Mr. Lippman has to depart. I want to give him a lot of thanks to Mr. Jeff Lippman. Hopefully part of our power program. Of course, you can check the Garden of Thoughts. There is a section on the Sports Jedi Network. You hear some of his podcasts on the audio platform as well. Thank you so much. We really appreciate you joining on, hopping on. I hope it's not the first. I hope it is the first of many more. And, be safe. Thank you again. And may the sports be with you.
We'll redact a lot of stuff. I apologize, Jeff, in advance.
Thanks, guys, for having me. Appreciate it. Check out Garden of Thought. If you're looking for wrestling content, there's a bunch of shows with PJ Black, who is Justin Gabriel as the co-host. There's a bunch of shows with Mr. Thomas Erstwhile of MLW Wrestling as a co-host and a few others. And I'm off to go to Wrestling Soup to record the LFG review show with Legend Lufisto, and that's on Wrestling Soup. So, busy guy, but I appreciate you guys. And hopefully first of many.
Yeah.
There you go. Appreciate you. Thank you so much.
I blame Haas, by the way.
You blame Haas. Yes, sir. Yes,
Blame
sir.
Haas.
And I wash my ass. Thanks.
There you go. That's the biggest thing.
In a very heterosexual way.
Oh,
That's right.
boy.
That's right.
Not too much self-love.
Yeah.
Lippman out.
Lippman out. There we go.
Nice drop on that. Yo.
Yeah. So here's my. I'm gonna give you my thought where I think a title is gonna change, and it's not gonna be in the women. And I'll tell you that real quick but we're gonna hear of someone we're endorsing so much on this channel. Take a look.
This episode of the Sports Jedi Network and Smoke Sessions podcast is proudly promoting the Damn Good CBD, the hemp-derived wellness brand launched by WWE Hall of Famer Rob Van Dam. Whether you're recovering after the gym, trying to relax after a stressful day, or looking for better sleep recovery, Damn Good CBD has you covered with premium CBD wellness products designed for everyday performance and relaxation. We're talking recovery bundles, sleep bundles, CBD gummies, CBD plus Delta 9 gummies, exclusive RVD inspired bundles like the Rolling Thunder Recovery Bundle, the Mr. Monday Night Lights Out Sleep Bundle, the 5-star bundle, and the whole effing bundle. Their products are hemp-derived, federally compliant under the 2018 Farm Bill, third-party tested, manufactured in CGMP-certified facilities, and some gummies are even vegan and gluten-free. So if you're ready to chill like a champion and recover like a Hall of Famer, head right now to GoodTalk.com and place your order today. And when you do, make sure you tell them you heard about it from the Sports Jedi Network and the Smoke Sessions podcast, the gold standard of true fan theory. Damn Good CBD, recovery worthy of a 5-star frog splash. From bell to bell, recovery of the Sports Jedi Network and Smoke Sessions podcast. Relax hard, recover harder.
I make sure he said D the smoke section.
I'm not gonna lie.
I'm not gonna flex how to make sure you get it right.
Like Ohio State. D.
Yes, damn right. OHIO. Damn right, Hoss. I love it.
The last part where he's talking I felt like if we only paid DJ Khaled $300 and he's like, nah, I'm gonna just talk. I won't yell. But
yeah,
I was like, oh man, that's his brother right there. That's DJ Khaled. You just know it, man. Yep. He just wanted to say we the best, but he just didn't say it. But shout out to RVD, Sports Jedi Kev. I think one of the hardest working people behind the scenes. Like, look,
never not working. Never.
He really gets
working.
behind. Right. He gets behind it, and he just grinds. He grinds on it all day. Pause. I mean, man, why? I was trying to see how long I can go with these zesty remarks while I'm praising the man. You know. Just to see how far we could take it last night, fellas. Real quickly, the warning to everybody out here is the podcast last night. You're going to hear about 45 seconds of silence. Yesterday, our co-host was falling asleep.
Oh, my God.
He was falling asleep. So what I told Nap is, hey, in 3 seconds, let's close our eyes and let's see how long we can just stay quiet on the stream. And we closed our eyes and we just stayed there. You know, tripping him the fuck out. We were trying to get him, you know, to hey man, kindly you can go leave. Oh yeah, man. Shout out to Dex.
Oh man, shout out to him. Yeah, I was saying about the one title change that I don't think is the title change that's going to happen on Saturday Night's Men is the men's tag team. I think the Street Profits are going to take the titles off of Logan Paul and Austin Theory, but it's only going to be a short title reign because that's going to feed more into the Seth Rollins storyline where either Montez is going to, you know, Dawkins and Montez are going to eventually split for some reason. Or, you know, instead of we kind of want to see Logan Paul and Austin Theory go their separate ways, but I think that's where they're going to go with that. No, go ahead, K-Dot. Go ahead.
No, y'all good. I forgot to mute my mic. I forgot to do the gracias. I forgot to do gracias, Jeff. Damn it.
I was waiting for you to do that, but I don't know.
Shut up, man. I saw your face of disappointment and realized it. Sorry, man. We'll get back on topic. I'm going to have to use Chris. Gracias, Chris.
Howdy.
Howdy.
So that's what you got. Okay. I see that's that's interesting because I was pondering the same route you were. Like, this has got to be their moment because look, Braun Breaker tries to come out, Seth tries to come out, and I said, okay, this is where the Street Profits. But I was like, nah, because their storyline is they're going to be turning on each other, maybe not trusting, and not winning these titles kind of has that cause for friction. So if I'm not saying it'll be a just a wash like DQ, but if any match has a chance to be the DQ, it's this one because Braun Breaker and Seth Rollins interfering, and then they maybe talk shit to Seth because, hey man, you cost us the championship. It's a whole lot of route, but I think that one right there, I'm gonna say the Vision retains on that one.
Okay. Us?
We are under the assumption that anyone cares about these tag titles. That's the thing. No one cares. That's the worst thing about this. Like, I believe the titles may change, but does it do anything to the fabric of the WWE? Absolutely nothing. And that's the worst thing about this. Like, it could be an overbooked mess, and no one on this panel would care that happens. No one will care, and that's sad. That's absolutely sad. Like, we regulated Logan Paul to this, and he's arguably the biggest star in this company. The Street Profits, they're making a comeback, and they're coming after dead titles. It's a sad state of affairs. It's just a sad state of affairs.
What up, Dev? Oh, and you're right, homeboy 88. It was Daniel Barry Sports that said that. This ain't PG. What's the ET come home?
Getting up.
Yeah.
That this is where again I said
elaborate.
Bronson Reed needs to come back. Something needs to happen if you want to, do something with this dying faction, because that's what it is. It's a dying faction. Not even going to call it a stable. It's not even worthy of being called a stable. It's a faction. It's a horrible faction that poor Paul Heyman is now stuck with because he's trying so hard to make it work. And, like Haas was saying, nobody cares about these. Nobody cares about these titles. So, and as I was going to elaborate with, basically, if you look at how these titles are right now, you got Logan Paul and Austin Theory. All right, they're kind of okay, but at the end of the day, no, like you said, no one really cares. No one really cares about like this like faction that's going on. It was more interesting when it was just Bronson and Breaker. Like that was interesting. When they brought Logan Paul, I was kind of like, I guess would have preferred someone else, but okay, so they did it. And then the mystery man the whole time they were going on and on. Turned out to be Theory. Sure, but nothing else really like motivated me to keep watching this. And I wanted the Seth Rollins to be done with this nonsense, but now obviously he's still back in it. Yo, so now like that major win.
Can you elaborate on that what's the Seth Rollins nonsense?
Bro, is that
no, for real? Because we talked about it last night, but I don't obviously.
How many times is he gonna lose? All right, and they're still gonna put him in main events. They're still gonna put him in these like matches that he has no business to be in. Like the trios thing, this is like a perfect opportunity to use someone like Joe Henry, who has now chemistry with the Street Profits. This whole Seth Rollins is going in the back, just looking like I'm stare down. Montez, just stare him down. Like, come on, man. Like, you're not a heel anymore. You're basically a face. But at the same time, you don't even know what the hell you're doing. I'm a stare Roman Reigns. I'm gonna look at that championship that you definitely did not deserve to get. It's just nonsense. What I want to happen is I want Bronson Reed to come back, either destroy the Street Profits or break this thing up. do something to cause a friction where he pulls aside Paul Heyman and Breaker. They're talking behind the scenes, and they're like, oh, yeah, see these two guys, it's not gonna work out for us. We gotta start looking out for our own, like we were, each other. Or does Bronson, say, hey, Breaker, you got the shine. I want the shine too. So, and we see, basically a whole friction that just combobulates and explodes. A new era begins tonight. The new AAA general manager will be announced tonight.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
By the way, Kev, I was saying there needs to be more managers. Selena De La Renta. That's who I want WWE to get and bring over.
Chris, while you were stuck, I want to show you a picture.
Wow.
I want to show you a picture.
Robin?
Let's see if it shows.
That's crazy.
Yo, look at how.
Yikes. Yikes. That's what happens when I don't know what happened. My computer just froze. I saw circles, nothing. I was like, hello. And then yikes.
Yeah, that's all we saw. But I was like, oh shit, I got to screenshot this before we go. So
funny.
I had to.
And you were there like about what, good 15 seconds just in that same pose.
Yo, Chris, at least you weren't like looking serious, and then all of a sudden you just slowly start to break character.
Don't.
But this one, my final thing here with the subject here. Speaking of AAA, we found out what happened in Orange County in Orlando, Florida, with the Ludwig Kaiser being arrested. I know you guys broke the news Wednesday night, and also both of you programs were talking about it with the Kaiser arrest. And yesterday he was in Mexico. They allowed him to travel. It was a slap on the wrist. It was just a argument. I don't think this is going to hurt Kaiser's career, K-Dot.
First of all, I had a weed charge that was a $3,500 bond. All right. Listen, man, you ain't got to go. You ain't. Well, hold on, man. Wait a minute now. Wait a minute. Hold on. Weed charges. Listen, I'm a fucking smoker, man. I smoke 8 blunts in a session. I smoke 9. Listen, when I tell you to elaborate, that's my time when I start rolling some more, because I know that's my time. Just understand. I can look. I got 3 blunts rolled in your elaboration time. No lie. I was able to get it. But look, $3,500, right? That's my bond.
Damn, you're slacking, K-Dot. Snoop Dogg would have had already like 5 or 6, maybe 10 done.
He smokes 81 blunts. Trust me, I get half of that. Okay, so look, $1,000 bond for battery. I'm gonna tell y'all something, people. I'm gonna elaborate on Raj. The dude that was in the elevator. And I got people too, and I'll stand on business for that. Quote it, whatever you want to say. The dude was offended not because they were sharing a love and embracement. He was upset that they were speaking Spanish, that they were having a conversation in Spanish. That's what he got upset about. And when the dude said about ICE, that's why it was not. And another thing, when they say white woman and they describe it that way, white, just so you know, when you do sometimes go to wherever you got to go and you got to put your ethnicity, sometimes you won't see Hispanic or Latino. You'll have to see white. White. So the fucking morons that were like, oh, he was with somebody else. Y'all motherfuckers, y'all don't understand the game. He got upset. Rightfully so. No punches were thrown, although it looks like it. They were pushes. I mean, look.
Bro, getting arrested for pushing someone is pretty
$1,000 bond. It's not even going to go to trial. If this dude tries it, it's for Kaiser, it's not even going to go to trial. If anything, he pays a fine, community service, and maybe one anger management class or a few hours, whatever it may be. If it's called pre-trial, ladies and gentlemen. He's going to get that shit knocked out in pre-trial.
He shouldn't need to be doing none of that.
All right. Okay. All right. SYG. Stand your ground. We get it.
You know,
He stood
we
his
forgot
ground.
to ask Jeff Lippman that question. Those would have been a good questions for Jeff.
I thought I heard something about he doesn't want to get into legal stuff. I didn't know if he was
Okay,
into that,
okay.
so that's why I didn't.
Okay, you're probably right.
But if you know, and a lot of people understand the game. Weed charges now, it's crazy. 0 to 28 ounces, and you can get arrested for a dime bag, people. Like, and then you get a $2,000 bond, things like that, like first offense type of things. Like, it's out there. That should have told people for the $1,000 bond for simple battery. This ain't, and it's all. Look, Chris can push me. Chris can just push me, and I can call 911 and say I was pushed. And as long as I have proof that I was pushed, they have to take my word first. Okay, well, we'll go ahead and we'll charge him. Well, you want to press charges? Yes, I do. All right, perfect. It's part of the law, people. He's going to end up getting a knock on the door. Hey, just because unless he already has an attorney, that like how Kaiser always does, on payroll,
retainer.
But like the company attorneys, retainer. But Chris ain't going to knock on the door. He might get pulled over while he's driving. You got a warrant for your arrest. For what? And it might be a month and a half later. You got a warrant for your arrest for shows here assault. Even though he pushed me, technically, that's what it falls under. And then once they go to pretrial, whether he gets his own attorney or court appointed, etc., he's going to go out there and say, look, we have video. What do you want to do? For something like this for him, say a first-time offender, he'll pay a fine, and it's like the court cost. Maybe get 6 months probation, something like that. That's what happens for people that don't have money, that can't just cover the cost of the pretrial or pay the fees like that. They'll give you like even 5-6 months. They'll keep resetting your case. Until you pay everything off, or if not, hey, we took it 5 months. You couldn't take care of these terms. All right, now we're going to sentence you, and that's it. It's nothing, people. He got offended and stood up for his girl. We said this, and then next thing you know, he puts that IG post.
Right.
He literally stood up for her because she was speaking Spanish. That's what, of course, her native language. He did the same thing. That's what the dude was disgusted at. Take it for what you will.
No, you broke that down correctly. I'm going to go right to Chris. Chris, you see what last night, La Serenata in Mexico, they allowed him to go over there. He's still over as hell. I think he's even going to be more of a national hero in Mexico for what if all those reports are accurate.
I mean, I got to be honest. I don't think it's a big deal at all. I don't think any of this is a big deal at all. He punched. I don't know. It's not going to affect his push, which is why this isn't a big deal.
Correct.
They canceled. The only reason they canceled it because he was probably flying back to Mexico. I think people are looking a little bit too much on this. It's he got a mugshot, like K-Dot explained. He's going to pay some fines. He'll be on his way. It's not a big deal. And I see people making 30, 45-minute videos talking about it. Again, he's going to get K-Dot explained it for you guys in less than 15. He's going to pay the fines. Boom, boom. He's fine.
And they did it. They did it last night. They postponed it, and they did it last night. They just moved it another day.
And Kev, if that didn't happen last night, maybe we would have something to talk about here.
Satellite.
Exactly.
It's not a big.
That's
deal.
why I voted out.
I agree with all you guys. It's not a big deal at all. Who cares?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, K-Dot, they should call you the best of the best 206.
It's not a murder charge. It's not, it's no, let's be honest. It's not something ridiculously like, no, he punched a dude in the face. So
and Nap, I understand something, right? Oh, man, don't do that. You understand, man. Look, when it comes to life, nephew, it's not how you start your life. There's going to be plenty obstacles and hurdles, and everybody has a different hurdle in their path, but it's how you finish in life. All that, I ain't scared of it. I'm not ashamed of it. You shouldn't ever be ashamed of your past because that's what makes you who you are now, today, tomorrow, whatever the case. But it also makes you educated. Again, he had a satellite bomb, people. You know what that means? If Chris had a lawyer, the lawyer said, hey, look, turn yourself in. You'll be here for about 20, 30 minutes. You'll take a mugshot. You always got to process and take a mugshot.
Right.
But he's probably out in 15 minutes, if that, 20 minutes. He took his lawyer with him, turned himself in, took the mugshot, paid the bond, released. People probably think he was there for a day or so. No.
No.
Went with his lawyer,
He was there
That's
for
a 20
20
minute
minutes, I bet. He was K-Dot, he was probably there just to get processed.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
That's it.
That's
If
probably
you
what
know,
he
you
didn't.
know.
He didn't spend it. He probably. All right, where do I pay? And then he left. And he's gonna let his lawyers take care of it.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. It's not a big deal. He's gonna let his lawyers take care of it. He'll just, hey, look, Marcel, because that's his real name, whatever. Yo, Ludwig, whatever. This is what's going on. All right. He ain't gonna be involved. It's his lawyer's gonna take care of it.
He has
He
a
got
Saul
money.
Goodman on retainer.
He got money. He got a good lawyer. He'll find a good lawyer. And like I said, as we last night proved that this does not mean anything.
Someone
Last
said,
night.
by the way,
They're not going to drop real quick, Nap. They're not going to drop almost 2 years of storytelling with this gimmick for it to go away for this. They're at least going to, if he's going to, and let's say in a hypothetical world that this is such a big deal that he could whatever, that's going to happen after this El Grande shit's over.
Yeah.
When the match is over, then you could speculate. But they're not going to stop this thing that they got going on in Mexico. No, they're not going to do it. Like I said, if the guy was, severely injured in the hospital, this and that, like, you're a different ball game. This guy probably got punched in the face, walked up, called the cops.
And it is. Look, man.
And then
It's
he's
simple as
getting
that. Like,
clotheslined, all right? Like
Look.
someone had a video of like they were like,
I'm telling you right now,
if I was
everybody in this
Kaiser and that was my
situation,
girl, they would have clotheslined.
everybody in the situation, if you're in that same situation with the elevator, everybody that has a significant other now, they're gonna hold it down for their significant other, regardless of the
Absolutely.
outcome.
Yeah.
You're gonna hold it down, and again,
Absolutely.
that's why not only did he become a fucking legend there, but because of the context, people, you got to understand, a lot of news gets to Mexico and it stays in Mexico before it even hits here. Like, you don't even understand. Like, the people already know. They've already embraced them. They understand what the context is about. This simple, it's no more than a civil issue at this point. He can pay off the cost. Bam, and then the dude can just sue and whatever. Civil issue. Here, let's settle out of court. Get him a little bit of money. That's what it is. People, just ignorant people that you can see on this app were so insane. And again, this is where I take offense. Like, look, listen here, motherfuckers. I've seen it, man. I've been there. Like, it ain't, number one, if you don't got a lawyer, it ain't no fucking joke. If you do, shoo, you stay prepared on deck, man. Look, man, that's what they're doing. Stand up for your girl, man. Man, it's crazy.
No,
But I hope
that's
y'all don't
how
go
it
through
is,
that situation.
That's all I got.
Don't go through that in y'all situation. Please, I hope y'all don't end up in that. Because trust, man, I know sometimes in these jail reality shows or sometimes in different states, you're there for 2 hours and you're out. Man, come to Texas. You're going to be here minimum at least 22 hours. You know what I mean? Even though your bail's there, you still ain't going to get out to the next morning, next evening at that. I'm just telling you, man, it's fucking tough.
No, so we know that he's not good. There's nothing really, just a slap on the wrist. The match is gonna happen next week here. Mask versus Mask. You saw the reception he got there, and go forward. I don't see anything that's gonna hurt Ludwig Kaiser in his push at all. Anything else before we wrap up? I think we got everything.
I got nothing. I was telling Kev this off air. It's a great Saturday. You got MMA, NBA, Saturday night's main event. You got a lot of things. So I hope everybody here on the panel in the chat. First off, thank you guys for being here. Obviously the Smoke Sessions, and Haas, and everybody in the chat, and obviously Jeff. But enjoy your guys' Saturday. There's a lot of things to watch and be entertained by. And go check the Smoke Sessions later. Kev has his watch along for the Knicks right after this. So there's a lot of entertainment from us, and period. So happy Saturday, guys. Enjoy the rest of your guys' weekend. Memorial Day weekend.
Be on the lookout, because I'm going to slide into Haas's DMs in a very heterosexual way. Because I really feel this famous Haas show. Listen, brother, I have been looking for the crude. I try to tell the people, crude humor is key. This is what lacking in the game today.
Oh, yeah.
In regards to our people want to walk the fine lines. I think this famous Haas show would be some crazy madness. And I think that's something we should look into, because I think your filter and your tolerance level, it's a tolerance level that I think would piss people off. I think it would make people laugh. But at the end of the day, look, you're going to get a different vibe. I'm just telling you, man. Look, just be on the lookout. You never know what. It might be one show. You know, you never know. We might Hoss might mess around and go find a little stripper to interview, pull him on the show. I didn't mean him. I meant her. That's very respectful. Happy Saturday, everybody.
God.
I'm gonna get a bunch of DMs telling me like, "Oh, did you book this guy? I can't believe."
Yo, Nap, that one clown still wants us to do some dumb shit.
Yeah,
What
Not
clown?
clown. He's a good dude. He's a good dude.
I know y'all want to go.
No.
But okay, but what is this? Why don't you see?
There's a lot of interesting shows, collaboration, many different variations of all of us.
There's so many personalities here, which is funny. There's just so many different personalities here, which is like you can do like. So
take him for Wednesdays, people. Please take him. Dynamite. He doesn't talk about it on Fridays or Tuesdays. I know sometimes he doesn't hate WWE, but it's not his favorite promotion. It's not even a top 3 for him. Probably top, maybe a 4. So take him with y'all for Wednesdays, and then use the word elaborate.
I'm never gonna use that word ever again in my vocabulary. Jesus Christ.
Now, cook on Wednesday night, brother. Cook on Wednesday night with Hoss and PGH Chris. I said, oh, why don't you go to that show? You'll fit right in because you don't want to talk about it with us.
They got we'll speak about that off air, but for Double or Nothing, it'll be an interesting one.
Oh yeah, be on the lookout. We
on the lookout.
We have a reaction show for Double or Nothing.
Yep, Hoss. Yep. Anybody else obviously wants to join, but it's gonna be there's a lot because when we gave our predictions Wednesday, there's a lot of things me and Hoss don't see eye to eye on. Go check out that review. Go check out Wednesday. There's a lot of predictions me and Hoss do not think's gonna happen. We actually think the opposite on a lot of the predictions.
You want some entertainment? Go check it out.
If you want entertainment, you better check out our Double or Nothing.
I got it. Trademark this shit.
The Dynamite Bros
show. Like crisscross. Chris Hoss.
Oh yeah, jump. Yeah, I got it.
Chris Hoss show.
No, Hoss.
There you go.
Or Kev. K-Dot gave us we're the Dynamite Bros on Wednesdays now.
I know. I heard.
Yeah,
it.
I did.
I
said the Dynamite Bros.
The Dynamite Boom.
And BROS. BROS.
No, wait, but look, write that, text that to me. Well, put that in my DMs. K-Dot. But here's the thing: you can't be Boom when you got the freaking Costco guy all over the freaking show.
Yeah, they'll be on the buy-in, and they're sponsored by my dad's favorite drink, Viva Coco. That we have a whole.
I know. You know he did the flash dance thing like K-Dot did last week with the water.
Yeah, I saw that.
I
saw that.
Like,
my dad's drinking one. And I see the video. I'm like, oh boy, they're at least they have a sponsor that I actually. I mean, Dude Wipes with WWE, but yeah, that's all I got.
Yo, the Dynamite Bros. Boys really own sexiness. There y'all go, fellas. Right there, the bros.
There we go. But yes, if you guys want that real entertainment, because again, we did not agree on our predictions on Wednesday. We might be firing on that review show. So we'll see.
He didn't even do no predictions for Double or Nothing because he doesn't want to talk about it. I'm telling you, he didn't have a safe space. He feels like he doesn't. He says, well, you're not going to respond. I'm like, okay, but that's fine. This is preach. Be the pastor, man. This is your time. Look on this. You know what I mean? Like Nap knows, man, but I just look, man. AAA, WWE, TNA, about as far as I go after that.
I watch everything.
There's something interesting happening on the Heat side right now.
I watch
it.
That should be.
Looking forward to hearing you guys talk about that later on tonight. Don't forget tonight in a couple about 7:45, game number 3. Our New York Knicks for me. Trying to go up 3-0 against the Cleveland Cavaliers. I will have the watch along, the play-by-play, all the breakdowns. So join us. See you there tonight. Remember,
go New York, go
New York, go. Let's
Only for the playoffs.
So yeah, real quick before you click, hey Hoss, can I ask you one question? And we're out.
What you got?
All right, look. I did this for Jack Cartwheel, but I think I found a way. Now that you're not Jack Cartwheel, I'm gonna say it this way, differently now. All right. So, should I take it all the way? I don't know if I should cross that route. I'll just say we're on a flight that's about to run into a building.
Oh God, I know where this is going.
But the only way that you can save us, only you got to do two things. You got to twerk on the pilot for 30 seconds during turbulence. And then as soon as we land and they praise you as a hero, you're going to take 20 naked stink faces from Rikishi. Or remember, this will prevent us from running into September 2001.
Okay. So I have to twerk for a pilot
during turbulence, and we're in the cockpit watching you.
Okay.
We're very heterosexual, by the way. He just has to, for gravity purposes. And you got to be your draws on the pilot, and we're watching for 30 seconds.
Okay.
And then once we land and they want to rib you and congratulate you, Rikishi gives you 20 naked stink faces.
Why do I have to take the stink faces if I already saved you by twerking for the pilot?
That's just part of it too. Like you have to.
But I agree with Hoss.
Your lives are no longer in danger.
We'll say it like this: 20 naked bonsai drops or 20 naked stink faces. I'll give you another out: 20 naked stinger splashes. Which one are you taking to save us from September?
That's a pendejo splash.
Okay, wait a minute. So I got three choices here: 3 bonsai drops.
20
stink faces.
20 naked bonsai drops.
20 naked
20
bonsai.
naked stink
From
faces.
who? From who?
From Yokozuna, if he was alive. Prime Yokozuna.
He used to shit himself. No, the next one.
Naked stink face. No thong from Rikishi.
He had shit on his face for Kurt Angle. Okay, what's the next one?
A naked stinger splash from Sting. 20 naked stinger splashes. And you know
he's a pendejo. He's a pendejo.
Yeah. You don't have to see his face because it's covered in face paint.
Yeah, he's a pendejo.
I'm not worried about his face. The stinger splash. I got full frontal on me here at this point.
He's a pickle dick.
It doesn't matter. It's still pickle.
That's not fine. It's not kosher.
I'll tell you what.
I'll tell you what. 20 naked hurricanranas from Rey Mysterio. No Sting. 20 naked hurricanranas from Rey Mysterio. 20 naked Sting faces from Rikishi or 20 bonsai drops.
Give me some dude wipes and I'll take the stink faces from Rikishi with some potpourri spray. Give me the dude wipes and some potpourri. And some disinfectant for my face.
Oh my God. It just froze. It just froze. You just going like.
Oh my God.
Oh, that's another clip. There we go. Clip it. I got clipped, so now it's his turn.
I gave you the honest answer. Like, you give me some dude wipes and
there you go.
Yeah, there you go.
There we go.
Look, man, I would have taken the bonsai drops because I cannot live to tell. And you took 20 naked stink faces from Rikishi. I couldn't do that as a man to myself, man. Yokozuna better take me out the game.
You're gonna die from those bonsai drops, brother. You're gonna die.
Look, man, the cheeks gonna split. I'm gonna suffocate.
Think of it like this, though. At least you're not taking 20 naked tombstones by the Undertaker.
Oh hell no!
I could have said that one. Oh shit!
I'm gonna leave that for Michelle McCool. That's for Michelle. That's not for me.
All right.
Let's get out of here.
Yes, indeed. Let's go. Have a good weekend. May the sports be with you. I'll be back in a couple hours. The guys will be on later on tonight. We'll see you then.